Good morning, traders. How you doing out there? You ready to get back to the trading action? Of course, like always, the market shaking things up. Just yesterday, it was a bloody red street, turned around to green right at the open, ramped up. Now we'll talk a little bit about the Nike and what's going on in Japan as we'll take a look to see as that's kind of getting that nice boost this morning. So some optimism coming to the market today. But guess what, guys? I don't see it as turning into optimism towards the open. We'll see what happens. Already starting to see a little leak out there. Let's see what happens today. Will we take out yesterday's lows? There's only one way to find out. Stay tuned for the live trading action. That's starting up next. After this, of course, we'll get through the playbook, the sunrise report. Let's get to the action and take a look what we can maybe trade today. First up, of course, let's talk a little bit about Dominion Energy. And of course, I've been talking about the utilities plays as I think it's the top play here now, because the truth is there's two big bonuses that you get by trading the utilities in this area. And this time is one, they're interest rate sensitive, right? When interest rates start to get cut, utilities have a tendency of starting to go higher. And then there's the other big plus, right? That they usually do good in what? A recession. So if we're concerned about recession and concerned about what's going on in the markets, well, guess what? Utilities could be a top play here. So long Dominion Energy. Take a look at the chart here and see what's going on. You guys can see how this has been trying to chop here around the 54s, but it's at the bottom of the range. And I really like that because now we can really start to turn things around and start to work higher. This is a weekly. So we're going to look for this weekly to kind of hold the pullback after you broke out above the resistance, looking for this to become a support and then starting to move higher. Let's go to the daily. You can see how the weekly and the daily are right around each other for the support. So I will give it a little bit further down towards this 53.44. But 54 is really a level that we should look for to hold today. So maybe an undercut into that range between 54 and 53.40s starts to pull back, then looking for the rise above 57 going towards the 60. That would definitely shake this and start to turn it to the upside. And of course, with Dominion Energy, you can focus on other energy players like NextEra Energy, utilities going higher, and that's what we're looking for. We'll look to see if this gets the move off of the 90 EMA, and Duke is another one to watch. They're all near that daily 90 EMA. Let's see if it holds and starts to make another run for the highs. All right, let's keep going. Let's get to the second one in the playbook here. This is an interesting one, probably you never heard of. What about KVU, right? KVUE, right? So going to be watching to see what happens on this one. It's already getting a nice little pop. And man, this is frustrating, guys. I was in a meeting at 8 a.m., and at 7 a.m. is when I was doing the playbook. Take a look here already, guys. This is one that I'm a little looking back and being like, man, some of these I just got to buy in the morning. Because look at this, 7 a.m. down at 1850s. Now we're already almost up to 20. It's up 6% since I was looking at it. And why? Because I feel like they're just picking on this, right? They're looking for recession players. Recession players are usually what? It's going to be your utilities, it's going to be household personal products, and it's also going to be in healthcare. So those are the three areas that I see trade ideas. So look at KVU today, already making the move. To tell you the truth, a little frustrating that it already made the move, but I'll be looking to see if we can catch it. PG is another one we can look for. Look how it moved on Friday. Went up, came down, and then really ripped at the close. That's the same thing I'm going to be looking here. And at the open, we came down yesterday. Let's look for a break above that high, going towards the 170. We'll look to see what happens in Procter & Gamble. And one more, Colgate-Palmolive. I was looking to see this one crack down below the 100s. But now with the recession concerns, of course, what happens? Well, guess what? You still need your toothpaste and you still need your soap. So Colgate-Palmolive, we'll see what happens to these names. definitely. Let's go to the last one here on the playbook. I hope you guys enjoy this action. Let's talk a little bit about the VIX, right? I think this is important, and we can play this multiple ways. There's so many kind of ETFs that you can take a look at, right? So VIXY, you can look at the UVIX, right? They're all going to be kind of similar. UVIX is the 2 times kind of leverage one. So we could also look for this one. If I was looking for this one, I would look for an undercut towards that 13. So undercutting 14, going towards 13 is what I'd be looking for. If I look at the VIXY, I'd look at the undercut of the 18 going to the 17s and starting to recover. We're already getting a little bit of a lift, so maybe this is the time to take the shot early. I'd be looking for that undercut towards the 18 and then to see this start to ramp. We'll see what happens in the VIX. Will we get another ramp up? There's only one way to find out, traders. Stick around for the live trading action. That will start after the sunrise report. But that's going to do it for, of course, our playbook this morning. Like always, guys, no excuses. Do the hard work. Try to figure out where stocks are going. What's the story in the market right now? We all know the story right now is all about recession, interest rate focus, and the Japanese, the yen carry trade. Oh, man. You know how that one goes. But we'll leave that one on the sideline for right now. What I would be focused on is what can I play during this time where we have uncertainty in the market, and what can I maybe invest in the long run? And that's why a lot of people are taking tech names. But we'll see what happens with that situation. Let's move over to the sunrise report and get to today's sunrise. You guys ready? Let's go ahead and see what we got for you. All right, guys, good morning and welcome to the Sunrise Report. Of course, I'm Money Mitch here giving you guys the latest market updates and insight. Let's dive in on the first action here. First up, we're going to take a look at what happened in major markets, right? We're talking a little bit here about the Nike, and this ended up trading up a whopping 10.23%, closing up to 34,675.46. This marks the largest daily gain since October 2008 and the highest spike ever in terms of index points. So keep watch to see what happens there. We'll see how this affects the market today. Will we get a continued lift from this? Something definitely to look out for. All right, next up, some important comments from the Federal Reserve, of course, the FOMC. Daly coming in here. San Francisco's Fed President Mary Daly indicated that interest rate cuts are on the horizon later this year, though she didn't specify when. Daly noted that while the economy is still growing, the labor market is weakening, which may warrant less restrictive policy. Policy adjustments will be necessary in the coming quarters, said Daly, emphasizing the need to respond to incoming data. We'll see what happens to here with the FOMC mentions, right? We're seeing so many mentions, and every Fed is going to take their turn to be what we call a talking head here. So be careful for the Fed talk out there. And I loved yesterday's talk of the Fed. It was on both sides. So if we need to come in, we will come in. If we need to raise, we will raise. If we're looking at data, we're going to look at data. The truth is, you don't know what you're doing. You're just reacting. And that's what the Fed does. They're late to the tape. They don't know what they're doing. The truth is, they just go ahead and make calls after the fact. The same way that they were late to what? To raise rates. Why? Because they waited and waited and waited and waited. Same thing they're doing here. They're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I don't think that they'll be right on their timing. They're just going to react to when the market starts to break. And that's not good signs for investors. Let's move over. Let's get to the next action here as we talk some earnings. Caterpillar moving into corporate earnings. Let's start, of course, with Cat. The cat's out the hat. Q2 adjusted EPS here of $5.99, beating the $5.54 estimate. Sales of $16.7 billion, slightly surpassing the $16.6 billion estimate. The company did see significant increase in retail new business volume, up 8% compared to the same quarter last year. Dave Walton, president of CAT Financials, highlighted strong business activity and global portfolio performance here as being what got them that lift. I think this is important to focus on because it is an interest-sensitive stock, right? if we are going to get rates to get cut, well, we could see what this company start to work its way higher. But if we're going to a recession, there's also concern that you would start to see these industrials take a hit. Well, we'll see what happens with that. It's definitely a mixed noise type of story. So keep watch right here. We'll keep watching on it. Of course, Trade the Pool live. Let's move over to the next one here. Let's get over to Uber. And let me know in the chat, guys, have you used Uber lately? Uber reported Q2 2004 adjusted EPS here of 47 cents, beating the 31-cent estimate. Sales of 10.7 billion, above the 10.57 billion estimate. The company did see mobility unit saw a 23% increase in gross bookings. That is definitely an important outlook. So we got to see what happens with this. CEO Dara mentioned that the anticipated continued expansion in the core mobility business is expecting a 20% growth for the second quarter. So if there's something that we need to be focusing on in Uber, it's all about this mobility unit. Will they see that continued growth? And if they can, we'll look to see if Uber can continue lifting. It has been getting a lift, of course. This is a company that I think in the long run is a big focus for what? Autonomy. Autonomy has become a big focus also with robotics, but we'll keep it moving. Let's go over to the fourth outlook here. Let's get to the next one. Let's do Builders First Source. This is one that we don't talk about often, but I think it's definitely a company that you guys need to focus on. Next up, Builders First Source. The company reported Q2 EPS of $3.50, beating the $3.02 estimate. Those sales of $4.456 billion missed the $4.48 billion estimate. Builders First Source authorized a $1 billion buyback and forecast fiscal year 24 net sales between 16.4 billion and 17.2, below the estimate here of 17.63 billion. So we need to keep watch to see what happens with that sales miss, right? But overall, this is an area that has been seeing a big lift. We know that people are building. We know that the houses are being built. So this is one that I'd keep on the watch. I think it continues to get the lift until we start to really go into recession. That's when we can start to see some of these stocks really start to pull back. We'll see what happens. Last one on the tape today. It's all about food. Yum, yum, yum. Let's talk a little bit about it. Yum Brands reported mixed quarter, same-store sales declining 1%, missing the expectations worldwide that they would grow 3%. So that's not what you want to see here. Taco Bell, though, outperformed with 5% increase in same-store sales. So I don't know about you guys, but I hear the bell right now. Boom! Just playing in my ear, but we'll see what happens with Taco Bell. Of course, KFC and Pizza Hut saw a decline, and Pizza Hut, man, that brand is just gone, guys. At least KFC, I think, still holds a little bit. They have a big fight with Popeyes, but of course, Yum Brands adjusted EPS came in at $1.35, beating the $1.33 estimate. The CEO highlighted those Taco Bell's success and innovation, particularly with the Cantina chicken offerings. So, hey, who knows, man? I haven't been to Taco Bell in years because that stuff will destroy me. But hey, somebody's out there eating it, and that's for sure. But that's going to do it for our Sunrise Report this morning. We'll see what happens. Like always, guys, stay tuned. We'll keep watching for more updates and market insights throughout the week. This is what the Sunrise Report is all about. If you're not catching it, we put it out every single morning in text form and then do it here to talk a little bit more about it. I hope you guys enjoy the Sunrise. Now to get you guys over to the live trading action, let's see what we can come up with today. Let me know if you guys enjoyed today's playbook and the Sunrise and what we could do more to help you get ready for your trading day. It's time to kick it off here. Let's get to the live trading side and see what we can do. What's going on, team? How we doing out there? Who's ready to get to the trading action? I know I am. Let's get it started. Let's see what we can come up with. And you guys out there, let me know what your top trade is in this market. What are you looking for this morning? Let's go ahead and try to find some of these good trades. And of course, we'll be watching to see if we get a continued downside shake, or will we get that lift that we saw in Japan? Of course, the European markets being a little bit of a mixed noise. Let's see what happens this morning. It's going to be important, because if we're going to see that continued downside, I think it comes quick. So let's see what happens now. Let's see what's going on the tape. And you guys in the chat, time to catch with you guys. Vic, Jane, it's good to see you this morning. Definitely say hello if you're new to the show, or for some reason just tuning in for the first time. It's always good to catch you guys. And let me know, what's that top stock? We'll take a look at any stock that you guys want to talk about. LUMN, I was looking at that one in the morning, Jane. I was actually watching it at like 4:30, so we'll see what happens there. Sava, interesting names being thrown up in the chat. So keep it going out there, team. We'll take a look. Let's go to see what's going on my screen this morning and what I can come up with. Of course, we'll be taking a look to see some different stocks. We'll see what we can come up with right now. I got a watch list. Let me get my leaders list here. Want to pull that up. I know it's on the side here somewhere. There it is. All right, now I can pull up my screen here. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look here and find what we can find in the market. Like always, guys, we'll see what happens out there. Oh, did I not set that private recording? It is what it is. We'll set it up a little bit later. But let's keep going, guys. We'll see what we got today, of course. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We'll find some good trades in the market right now. I'm looking at this VIXY to see if I'm going to take a trade on that. Let's get it started and see what we can maybe trade even in the pre-market. I don't mind taking some. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys. Yesterday was a tough day for me. I got to bounce back. There's only one way to bounce back, and that's to keep trading, baby. We'll see what happens. VIX trying to get back up above that 1950s. Now starting to pull back. We'll take a look at the overall market and see what's going on in the Qs and the SPY. Qs right now starting to fade off of that 440 area. Of course, this is still higher, and I'm wondering, do we go back to yesterday's low? That's the most sign of concern out there. We did get a bounce in certain stocks, so we got to keep our eyes to see what happens on those stocks. But even this morning, look at Apple, guys. Look how this is starting to come down fast. And of course, when are they going to do this? If they take it down, I feel like they'll take it down right now in the pre-market. And that's where I'm looking at, the UVIX, right? And trading these right now, right? And so that's the sign of concern. Will we even get that move to 14 today? We could just rip through that 15 and start working our way back on the hourly. The hourly is right off support. So if people are trading off of that hourly, yeah, this is the area that they'll start to trade off of that. And will we make an attempt to make a third high, right? So you can see here, there's like 2 touches to this trend line, an easy move back to 18. So we'll see what happens there on the UVIX. And I will be trading this one, guys. I'll be trading it kind of relatively small at first, really looking to get a nice position where it starts to make a move. And then once it starts to make that move, size big, we'll see what happens on this one. Right now, around the 1470s. Will it make the move to 15 right here in the pre-market? We'll find out, guys. Definitely one to keep a watch on. You can see the 1 minute. We just recently got a spike to 1510s. Now we got 1, 2, 3 pullbacks. I'd look for one more to that 1560s, maybe 1550s, 1450s, and then coming back here for that 15 run. We'll see what happens on this one. Let's keep it moving, team. What do you guys got out there? Let's go. Let's go. Let's try to find some great trades. And if you guys got something, throw it up. I'll be watching through the sectors and different stocks. But of course, the smaller names are definitely going to be something to watch today. I did see Palantir, though, with decent earnings yesterday, and it did get a nice little lift. It's back to 27. Some people are thinking that this is going to go right back to 30. But man, oh man, what a day yesterday with Palantir all the way down there, back towards 21 and then back towards 28. Like, who can hold on to that thing? I'm just glad I sold it up there by 28. So I took a swing trade on this thing. It's been an absolute monster trade for me overall. I got out. Now looking to see if I get back in. Really, I don't feel too confident about it today, but we'll have to watch to see what happens on this one. LUMN already up there to 385s, right? this morning was looking at it around like kind of 430 area, and so it was just trading down here around the 370s. It really hasn't done much since then. This is more of an after hours lift where you got that nice shot back there towards 4, and now you have a couple of highs there in the $4 spot. We'll look to see if we get above the $4. This one's going to need some good volume. That's the one thing I'd be looking for. Do we have the volume to really get it going today? That's what I'd be watching. That's what you need there. You can see how the volume's been tapering off, though. Back on the first kind of big day where it was jumping, it was trading 31 million. Then the second big day it was jumping, it was trading around, let's say, 16 million. Now it's jumping and it's only trading 2.8. That's a sign of concern for me. That needs to increase. If not, I don't think we get the move, but we'll see what happens. The technicals look good, but the volume doesn't. That's what I see, at least. All right, let's keep it moving, guys. You guys out there on Twitter, out on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the retweet. Let me know who wants to win a package. I'm going to be starting to give out packages, especially for retweets, just on credits that I have that I can give you guys. But I'm trying to give you guys an ability to keep moving forward. Like always, smash the like. Let's keep going, guys. Let's see what else we can find out there. TENX, another one up big today. Look at this thing. This thing took off, guys. 7 in the morning, 7:15, started to just rip higher all the way up to now, guys. So if there's one that could have been traded this morning, it's definitely this TENX, but it's already up there to 5. It's made 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts to run, right? At this point, I think it's done, but that's just my outlook, guys. Maybe you guys think that this has a little bit more legs. I think maybe it can get up there to like 550s, but after that, I think it's going to run out of steam. We'll see what happens there in TENX. LYT, another one that was moving this morning, and I looked at it at around 430. I was like, should I maybe trade this one? Maybe it gets a move back to 3. It did get that move back to 3, but it's all the way right back to the same spot. So, hey, we'll see what happens to this one if it can really kind of push. This one's had 1, 2 moves. This would be the third move if it starts to go back towards, let's say, the 330s, 350s. So I think this one still has one more move. The only question is, where will the pullback hold? It could come back to this hourly pullback of like 256, and then we'll look to see if it goes back towards the 3. All right, let's go to the big boys. Let's focus on some of the big boys. Of course, you guys can take a look at some of the smaller ones, but hey, to each his own. We'll see what happens. NVIDIA today, we'll see if it starts to fade right back down. I tried to short this bad boy yesterday. Definitely took some hits, so we'll look to see if we get this back through the 100 today. And does NVIDIA go back there to 90? I mean, 10 points available. We'll see what happens, guys. That's just the way that I see it. VC, a smaller name that's starting to get a little pop there. We'll look to see if this keeps moving. 5 minutes, you can see it just in the morning at 7:20. This was up at $4. It's had 1, 2, 3 times to try to break the $3. I'd let it try to break it one more time and then see if it goes through that 350, but we'll see what happens in VC. And like I mentioned this morning, there's 3 areas that we need to look for trades on the recession side of things. So if you feel recession is coming, what can you trade and why? Well, there's 3 areas to look at. It's going to be utilities. It's going to be what? Household products and goods like your Colgate-Palmolive, your Procter & Gamble, or KVU, which was on the playbook. And then it's going to be healthcare. We'll see what happens with that one. In healthcare, I'm looking right now, I'm seeing Eli Lilly start to make a bounce. And I was even thinking that maybe healthcare starts to get wrecked. Maybe those weight loss drugs cannot hold on. But the truth is even in a recession, people still pay for things for their health. So we'll see what happens if these start to get the lift. I'd keep an eye on Eli Lilly back above 800. That could start making a move. And if you want to take a look at some different ones, Johnson & Johnson's been hot lately. And of course, Pfizer has been hot. Has pulled back here, but giving me the opportunity for this to rise back above the 30s and going towards the 31, 39s, maybe going towards a run to 32. I've played this one on a swing already. Going to look to try to catch it on the dip today and seeing if this wants to go right back towards 30. I definitely keep this one on the watch. Yesterday coming back there towards the 30, a trend line right off of that. So we'll look to see if we get through it today and start to make a move towards, let's say, 30-50s. All right, guys, catching up with you guys. What's up out there, guys? Let me know. What are you guys looking at in the chat? It's good to see you guys. Let's keep it moving. All right, guys, that's going to be in healthcare, and we'll watch different areas. You can also take a look to see if healthcare plans can get a lift there. I'd be kind of watching this, as lately it had gotten a push, now pulled back. So what are the names that we can watch here? Let's take a look at the high RSI names. So like you got CNC that's making a nice little rip to the upside. You got Molina Healthcare. Look at this setup. Nice little setup, right? 1 up, 1 down, 2 up, 2 down, 3 up, 3 down. Should hold that support right around this level of 334, looking for a 360 takeout. And there's different ones here. Look at this cheap one today, guys. Clover Health. Yes, I'm talking Clover Health, man. This thing stayed strong. Yesterday was 150. Could break into $2 and making a nice little push today. We'll see what happens on this one. ELV. You can take a look at a couple of names here. Maybe it's CVS making a little bit of a bounce back. CVS has been completely destroyed as of late, but right now I'll keep a watch on it. Cigna looks like it's starting to come down, but who knows? That could come right back towards the resistance, at least short-term daily resistance around that 340. All right, let's keep moving. And Sava is one of those healthcare stocks that is pushing strong. I don't trust this stock one bit. I think this is the one that had that kind of, let's say, bad player in the company. But it is starting to come back there. It's up at 36.27. We'll see if this can keep pushing. Doesn't look too bad right now. Yesterday got up there towards 42.20s. So you have some availability there to get some reward. Just understand that this stock moves fast, up and down. Can easily come down about, let's say, 290 in about, let's say, 20, 30 minutes. So just be careful out there, guys. All right, we'll see what happens there on Sava. Let's keep moving. Let's look at different sectors and see how they're performing. Technology, of course, bouncing back yesterday. We'll see how that continues to move. The cyclical names also, pretty much everything bounced back yesterday. What didn't look the best right now is kind of like healthcare. It's near the lows, but that gives it an opportunity. Consumer defensive coming back today. So that's when I'd start to watch different names in that space to see if they can start getting a nice little push. KVU, though, man, that one was a tough one. Look at this thing, guys. It's ripping. It's now towards 2014. Frustrated. I keep getting some of these playbook that I'm looking at it in the morning because it just looks like a nice setup. And then, of course, I put it out on the playbook, but I don't want to be long these names ahead of it because I just look like I'm cherry picking. But the truth is, this is one that I wanted this morning, and it's a frustrating one. Seeing it up already like $2 from where I would have taken it. We'll see what happens there. A nice little move on the daily, too. You can see it now on the daily. It's going to look like a breakout. Look at that. We'll see what happens there. KVU, nice little push there. Household personal products, man. That's where I want to be in right now. The only problem is I'm not in it already, and it's already getting the lift here. We'll see what happens. All right, let's keep playing. We'll see what else is out there. Real estate coming down, and that's a dangerous sign there. But utilities was down yesterday. Look to see if these bounce back. Will they get the bounce? Well, it all depends really on the market today overall. But we'll keep a watch on that. Seeing some pullback in that VIXI. So, of course, we can take a look to see what happens there. Will we get the drop that I'm looking for? I would love to see a quick dip back through the 18. We'll see what happens there. Pulling back right now. That means the market's coming up with this. We'll see. Can we hold on today? Find out, guys. Find out. All right, let's keep going, guys. What's up out there? What are you guys taking a look at? What's your top watch today? It's 9:04. We got a couple of minutes here. Let's see if we can make some trading action right now. SPY trying to come back through that 520. All right, the Bulls won yesterday. Will the Bears win today? That's one thing I got to put on the radar because I'm just feeling that way. Maybe it's just the bear in me. But we'll see what happens today, guys. Jemiah on the downside. Big downside on Jemiah. Of course, Jemiah is the Amazon of Africa. And boy, oh boy, is that getting wrecked today. That was just up there to $15. It's back down on a haircut of 50%. So, yeah, what a move there, guys. This thing, man, I should have never believed it from the start. This thing got up there to $70 at one point and has been on the fade ever since. We'll see what happens there. Jemiah. Big hit there, guys. Zoom info, also another one, just starting to keep going down. This doesn't look good, guys, on these. I'd be careful with stocks like this. Serve was getting the lift in the pre-market. Let's see how it's doing now, guys. It's hanging out here around the 15. Yesterday, recovering all the way up there towards the 14s and 16s. We'll look to see if it starts to make a move on the daily chart, guys. I'm going to actually erase everything because it doesn't seem like we got this one down packed. Let's take a look at this and be a little bit more selective on understanding what's going on here, right? So we did have a couple of drives on the hourly. We take a look here. We can see how this stock has tried to move multiple times back towards that $20, but really hasn't made a run back into that spot. Right now, we're starting to push here. Now, the only question is, can it hold, right? So if you look at this support, you can see how we undercut it on this day. Now starting to come back. We can easily rip right back towards the 20 and try to take out this high of 24.09. Definitely on a good day, I got to keep this one on the radar. And I don't see it as a short anymore, at least for the time being. As it keeps pushing in the pre-market here, it could easily start to get that nice rise, squeeze out some shorts as it comes through 18, and then you start rocking and rolling towards the 20. We'll see what happens there. And serve. Don't get served. You know it, guys. TENX. Probably the top penny player this morning, up there towards 529s. I talked about how I feel like this one's starting to slow down already. We'll see what happens. Can it make one more push towards the high here, 557? I'd like to see that already happen. I wouldn't mind going short if it starts to do that, right? So like a nice little push here to 550s, starts to get up there and then starts to fail. We'll look to see what happens here. As this starts to create kind of like a little bit of a trend line here, you can see how you're trying to break and make another breakout. Need to see where do you fail. I'd see it failing somewhere at like this 550s, 540s, and then smack down right back towards the 5. We'll see what happens on this one. TENX. What's up out there? Over 80 of you guys out there tuning in, and a lot of you guys tuning in on X. So do me the favor, guys. Click that link that you're watching right now. Click the video. Then drop a comment to the right-hand side. Let me know. What's your top watch today? I'll keep watching to see what you guys throw up there. We'll see if we can make some nice trades today. KVU, man, already up 9%. And I'm telling you guys, that I can't even talk about it, man, because sometimes I feel like is there someone else making the money on these playbooks? That's how it is sometimes, guys. All right, well, look what else is out there, guys. What can we get the move on today? ZVRA was one that was moving yesterday. Didn't break down, so I'd put this one on the radar, right? It's hanging out right here around the $8 spot. Will it come back to 7, or will it take the next move? The one thing that helps it is a volume increase versus a volume deficit. So on the other ones that we were looking at, we were seeing that trend going down, right? The volume's increasing into this move. So that just goes to show you that it's starting to show up on scanners, and it could make this move right here in the pre-market, right? There's no reason why I can't do it right now, right? So CVRA on the radar today. I'd put this one on an hourly basis to kind of focus on that, right? You can see the support right around here. You've come down below towards the 745. I can see 750s acting as support and around the 770s. So now it's time to take that move back to the upside and seeing if we can break to the upside here, holding pullbacks. And that's exactly what you got here. So you got this break back towards the upside, a pullback right to it, now holding well. I just make sure that it doesn't break this 90 MA on the hourly 786. So if it doesn't break 786, it's looking good there for me. Let's see if this really starts to run through the 8s. I actually like this right now, but we'll keep it smart here. I'm going to keep focusing. We'll see if we're able to make a nice big trade on this one. I like ZVRA. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the chat. What's up out there, guys? I'm not seeing too many comments. What's going on, guys? You guys waking up? Let's go. Let's get it going. All right, looking around to see what else shows up on my scanners this morning. See what we can get. It's a nice trade on. Looking around to see what's up out there. Seeing Planet Fitness up. Of course, I've been looking at this one to see if it starts to get going here. Nice little daily chart, guys. It's trying to make that move back through 80s. Look at the volume, though. this tells me something, right? So like I told you guys, like when you start to fade on volume on sideways consolidation, that's usually not a good sign. But once you start to pop back and you start to make a move towards the top end of the resistance or the bottom end of the resistance, and you're having that volume, well, this tried to make a breakdown and is reversing out of it. So look for the 80 move. We'll see what happens there in Planet Fitness, but not a bad move there already. I'll watch to see if it gets through that 80. All right, we'll see some other ones. Burlington showing up there. Look to see if that can keep moving. I definitely don't feel too good about that, but hey, you know how it is. Let's see what other ones. Gate, Clover Health, definitely in play. I'm just going through my scanners to see what shows up for me, guys. You guys out there, let me know what you guys are taking a look at and what's making a move here. I see SYRE. That's all right. They're not doing too much there. Dave, nice little move there. Up there towards the 40. I think this is that banking stock, but we'll see what happens there. I don't know too much about this banking stock. All right, let's go back to some of these smaller plays. VC trying to hold that $3. We'll look to see if it makes the run to 350s and 4s. Definitely available for it. Hasn't made the move already, so we'll have to wait to see and find out. All right, of course, that other one that we were looking at, TENX. Let's take a look at that. Did make a run there towards 541. Still hasn't gotten to the 550s. Could start to fade off of that already attempted breakout, but we'll wait for a little bit more. I'm looking for that 550 blow off top. Maybe it even goes to like 570s and then starts to really break down. All right, catching up with you guys in the chat. What's up out there, traders? What are we looking at? CLS, Kevin? We'll take a look at that. Let's see what we got here. CLS. All right, so electronic component stock. Let's take a look at the daily chart here. Daily chart has a nice pullback to the 200 EMA, held really well. So just to put a line there, right? You can see it was support right here, acted as support right there. So around this, let's say 4032 layer is definitely support. That we can clearly see. Where's the resistance to the left? Well, let's see if we can start to do a range in between here. So you can see how there's a little bit of a gap fill. So I could see this playing up there towards 50 and then starting to play in between the chop between 50 and 40. So definitely, is there room for this to go to 50 today? Yeah, there's room. We'll see if it's able to continue the run back there towards 50. And the only thing I'd be a little bit concerned about is that once it closes that gap, does it make an attempt move back towards 41? You can see it kind of tightening in within that range. All right, what's up out there? We're in my Dutch Bros. What's cracking, man? Yeah, Dutch Bros, man. Oh, Dutch Bros in an environment like this is going to be a little tough, but let's take a look at the Bros. Bros is one that I was looking at. $30 is that area where Dutch Bros seems to get bought all the time. Just to give you a level that I see it all the time get bought. So $30, you see how it undercuts here? $30 seems to be the level. So now I'd be looking to see if you get back to some of these levels here. So the first layer I'd look at is this resistance. Second layer I'd look at is this resistance here. So those are the areas that I'd be looking for dip buys between the 33.90s and 31.60s. So let's say back below into the 33s. Seems to make sense to see a dip buy and then see it to come back. But we'll see what happens there in Dutch Bros. The biggest thing with Dutch Bros is we need to see same store sales start to rise and the costs start to come down. The business is really good in the sense that I love the way it works. It's strictly drive-through. It has that Chick-fil-A dual drive-through where you got two lanes running through. You got someone out there taking your order and, you know, creating that customer service. It's one of these places that I think in the long run definitely will compete with Starbucks. The only question is, how long will it take Bros to figure out that business to really take on a name like Starbucks? I think you just keep this one on the watch. You can take trades on it. Investments are something that I think about, but Bros, definitely something to take a look at. Dutch has an edge in my eyes, and I think it does. It really does. Like, it's more towards the younger crowd also. And Starbucks used to be that, right? I remember when Starbucks first came out. And I know that, maybe not the first, but when it first started getting popular, where did it get popular? The young crowd, and then moved its way up, right? Now let's see if Dutch Bros does the same. All right, let's keep moving, guys. Let's take a look at what else is out there. And UVXY coming down here, guys. I'm getting my opportunity right now. And so this is what I need to be looking at. So the VIX's trying to break down towards the 19s and towards the 18. I'm looking for an undercut there. But if I take a look at the UVIX trying to break that 14 and holding right now is something definitely to know. It could do an undercut here at the open. That's one thing that I'll be watching. But right now, this is something that I definitely want to figure out if I can get this trade, because it could be a really nice trade. All right, we'll see what else is out there. Mitch getting old right in front of our eyes. No. Coffee up. The worst part is this is Starbucks creamer. It's a little bit of a kind of one of my weaknesses. I love their Starbucks creamer. I'm making coffee at home, but I'm making it with Starbucks creamer. There's no Dutch Bros creamer yet. All right, guys, let's keep moving. Let's see what we can come up with, what we can trade. KVU now to $20. This is going to be frustrating because I got to look for a big pullback on this if I want to trade it. A pullback to 19 on KVU. PG, Procter Gamble. This is one we could look at, or we could just look into this space and see what moves today. So I'll be watching here to see what moves in this area. KVU's leading it right now. A little frustrating, of course, because that's the stock that I was looking at. But there's other ones that will get the lift too. So look for the leader laggard style trade. This is a clear example. I don't know this one, but I'll look at it. United Guardian. You can see how it's made a nice little run, has pulled back, has tried to take back towards this 1143, holding 1040s, and could go back to 12. Stocks to watch. Skin. Beauty Health. A cheap Beauty Health name. Maybe this starts to turn around. Look at the volume that's just came in, right? That's a lot of volume. That could be buying, looking for the swing back to the upside. We'll see what happens there. Clorox, another one that's just recently got a gap up, starting to turn from the downside. Another one to look for some play. And there's a gap to fill to the upside. That's a move to 146. Keep your watch on Clorox. We'll see if it gets going. Hourly supports around 140 holding. Could take out 145 and be at 146 today. We'll find out here. Definitely keep your eyes on some of these guys because I have a feeling they're definitely going to be looked at. We'll see if we get the trade. Financial services continuing on the downtrend, guys. So this is something definitely to point to. And I've been all over this trade, just didn't hold on to it. If I would have been able to take some swing trades on this, this is definitely the breakdown of this line. Remember, I created this line on when? I created it on June 17th. We were looking to see if this was going to bounce that day. It did bounce. Now we're breaking through that level, and that's a big key level. So I'm going to make this thick so that we can see this. And there's the breakthrough. Coming right back to the area where we bounced off of. And now we can actually undercut that and start to go lower. So keep your eyes on certain names. Goldman Sachs down to 462 and continuing that downside action on Friday. Boy, oh boy, was that a nice break that I missed. That came from 490s down there towards 467. We'll see what happens on Wells Fargo, as this is another one that I think could continue to keep collapsing. KRE collapsing, looking for that to keep going down. PNC could be one to look for, continued downside. Even my bank, Ally, I think you're going to see some trouble in this one. That got up there towards 45, turning around. We'll see what happens there in financials. Will gold turn around, man? Gold is just getting crushed in an environment where it should do well. We'll see what happens there in GOLD. All right, guys, let's take a look what else is out there. Wrapping Mind in Intel will bounce back at least 10%. I don't know, man. Intel, that's disappointed me too many times. I've gotten some really good trades on Intel, but at the same time, it never wants to keep going. So be careful out there. AMD bounced back yesterday, was down there in the 120s, man. It's crazy to think that AMD was just recently at 184. And in just about, let's say, 2-3 weeks, it's down 26 to 27%. We'll see what happens. Not a bad. That's a crazy little swing there because it was looking like it was breaking out. That's how it is sometimes, traders. Be careful out there. ARKK, Kathy, you're getting destroyed out there. So can we look at SARK today? Yes, we can. SARK has pulled back. I'm looking for continued pullback on this, but I think this is in play also today. Keep your eyes to see what happens. This has made about 1, 2, 3. I'd look for one more cut down through that 37. Cut through 37 and then start coming back. That's what I'll be watching for on SARK. I'll actually even put like a kind of alert at 1350s, 3750s to alert you guys. We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going, guys. Over 86 of you guys. It's 9:21. We got about 9 minutes here, a little less than that towards the bell. We'll see what happens out there, what we can come up with. And, of course, there's a little bit of shake in the market. Like always, we got to keep a watch to see if there's any Fed talk out there going on. Let me take a look to see if there's anything that I see right now showing up in the markets. Of course, using my Benzinga Pro to see what's going on out there. Let's see what I got here. All right, so here we get some comments. Jamie Dimon out there. No way. Jamie wants to talk about the markets? Can you believe it? This guy, Jamie Dimon, loves to talk, man. Loves to be the front head of the pages. So Jamie Dimon, confident in the economy as the market retreats. We're going to get through it, says CEO of JP Morgan Chase this morning. Redbook retail sales at 5.1, prior being at 4.5. Looking around to see what else is being mentioned here in the chat. Democrat Harris choosing Minnesota's governor Walz as U.S. vice president running mate. Why would she do that? Well, we all know they're going to be trying to get some of those swing states. So Minnesota being one of those states that they feel is very important to the election. We'll see what happens. Jim Cramer says, go with Trump if you care about your paycheck. Is the ex-president really taxpayers friendly? I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. We'll see it. Trade balance out there at a negative 73.1 versus a negative 72.5 billion estimate. Nothing that I think is concerning on that. We'll see what happens here towards the move, and will China stocks or maybe some other stocks get a move? We'll see what happens out there. Let's see right here. Let's take a look. Taking a look to see some other kind of markets to see how those are doing. FXI down there already. We'll see what happens to these. Can we get the bounce? The SPY is just chopping here, guys. I feel like we're going to get this down move right before the bell here. So I'm going to go ahead and start focusing on UVIX. UVIX is one area that I want to play here. And so I want to already start this, looking for the move back towards 14 if I need to. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and go long here, guys. All right, 39. Let's go ahead. Let's take a little bit there. All right, guys, just took a little bit here. Going to go ahead and add in just a second here if I can get some pullback to 25s. Already starting to see a little lift there into the 40s, and there's the volume starting to come in here. So I'm taking the trade here, guys. I'm already long on UVIX, looking for a little bit of pullback here. Let's see if we can get pull back to the 9 EMA, just pull back towards, let's say, 1430s. Then I can go ahead and go a little bit bigger here. We'll see. We're already lifting here to the 1450s. Could get a push through that 1450s, and it starts to drive back towards 15. So 15, of course, would be a nice little $50 gain. Nothing insane here. Just keeping it simple. We'll see what happens. And I could also take a trade on different ones here. Let's see if we start to get the nice little takedown. And with that being said, look for Apple to kind of start to get hit here. Look for NVIDIA to start to get hit here. That's another one that I'm looking at right now to maybe take a pre-market trade here. I'm going to go ahead and take a shot there on NVIDIA here. And if I do it, I'm just going to go small here. Small, meaning that I got to make sure that just keep it small on the sizing and look for a bigger trade here. Trying to get it, guys. I just threw out a limit there. Got it filled there. Short 103.48s there. Look at this pop that just came in, guys. What is going on in the market? Looks like we're having some comments out there. taking up the market there. We just got a nice little pop there in NVIDIA. I'm short on NVIDIA there. Only 50 shares there, so I got to watch here. I'm not going to let it go through that 104, because if it goes to that 104 there, I'm starting to get down, and it really should have cracked there. So crazy little spike there, right as I was trying to get short on NVIDIA. And I'm seeing the UVIX take a downturn there. Just got to keep watch on the UVIX to see if it doesn't break through the 14s. And we'll see what happens here, guys. Definitely something happened. I feel like this was news related, but I'll keep watch to see what happens at this 104 price. Glad I went at that at 50 shares there. Didn't go too crazy, so that gives me the ability to keep it going here and see what happens. It's 9:26. We're almost to the bell here. Let's find out what happens here. Getting that push there towards the 104 is about to set that stop here and might get triggered out there. Just setting it up here. 50 shares. 104.20s would get me out here. Going to go ahead and place it in a second once we get above the 104s. See if we actually get above that 104. So you can see it right here on the offer side. All right, what's going on out there, guys? Mitch, I'm in timeout. We'll see what else is out there, guys. Thinking we'll be scalping COUR. Okay, not a bad one. What's going on with Bullseye out there? Where's all my loyal followers, man? You guys are always hanging out here trading. What's going on, guys? I don't see you guys in the chat. Wake up out there, guys. Let's go. We got some trading to do. All right, there. Multiple taps on that 104. Let's see if we start to come back down on this. Don't want to put it out too early, the stop there, but I'm still looking at 104.20s as being that kind of stop out there. Don't want to push too much in the pre-market. Want to give myself abilities to get starters here and then see what happens. UVIX back down towards the 14.25 area. This is where I can go ahead and take one more trade here on the UVIX and see if it starts to make the move up. If it doesn't make the move up here, then I go ahead and I can cut it and look for the undercut back towards 13. So that's what I'll be looking for here. We'll see if we start to get the move right back through 14.55 and then starts to go to 15. The spread here is wide, so I'm trying to go ahead and make sure that I'm going off of the bid action. So let's say like 17s, 18s, or 20s here seems to make sense. Nothing after that. So I'll just do 14.20s. 14.20 starting to come back there already to 14.36. Looking for a little dip here to add there. We'll see what happens. Still got the order out there. Could maybe step up here a little bit to the 25s, but don't want to push right now. Looking for some pullbacks to get filled. Going back to NVIDIA. NVIDIA rejecting that 104. It went to 104.20, so that's actually not too bad there. $50 shares, stop limit. All right, guys, got the stop set there for NVIDIA. We'll see what happens if it does come back for me. Don't want to push on NVIDIA too early. I do think that we'll get some breakdowns, but like always, just focusing more on the trades that I was watching this morning. UVIX, one of those. We'll see if we're able to get it here and get that push back there towards the 14.50s. Don't think I'm going to get my ad right now, so it's kind of like, do you want to step up or not here? So I'm going to cancel for right now. Let's try to get back there towards the 14.40s. Of course, I got 14.39, so I don't mind stepping up here, but looking to see if we can start to drive and looking to see what happens here in the SPY. There's a takedown attempt, so that's why I'm going to start to go long here. UVIX, I'm going to go ahead and try to add here, guys. Try to add here. All right, guys, just added some there. All right, guys, now I got about 300 shares off the 40s here. So just got to make sure if I do get a pullback here, I'm adding back down towards the 14s here. We'll see what happens. Definitely some shake coming in. Here's the market open. Let's go, team. Let's trade. Let's see what we can do, team. Smash that like. Let's go. You guys know what time it is. The bell's here, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it, team. Let's see what we can do here on UVIX. Right now, starting to see a little bit of a move there. Focusing, guys. This is going to move all around here. Dip here down towards the 14s. We might get some undercut through that 14. So I do have an ad right below that. We'll see if we get just a slight wick at 14 and it comes back up. Looking to see what happens here in the SPY. Definitely that NVIDIA cut out, but I'm not worrying about that. The SPY is actually heading down. So that's a good outlook here. Just want to keep trading this UVIX and seeing if I can nail a really nice trade here. All right, now starting to come back up. It's looking good here for that continued breakdown of the SPY here. So I got to focus on that. I'm going to keep watching that chart. Meta, a nice little lift there. Ooh, ZVRA. ZVRA, guys, nice little pop through that $8 spot. Of course, we were looking at this one to see if it could do a nice little continuation. So not a bad move there. ZVRA. I'm going to go focus on UVIX. I hope somebody nails that ZVRA. Wish you guys the best. Let's focus on one trade at a time here. That's the biggest thing, is that I start to focus elsewhere in the penny names and I could lose that. TENX is one that I'll be watching. That one went up to 540s and now starting to break down. Like I talked about with that one, was looking for that one to kind of fail up there at the 540s. It went right to that key and start to fail. So now that's starting to look like a fade, and it already faded off of 5. So looking good for TENX to keep coming down. UVIX starting to go higher. Now I'm going to take the shot here, guys. All right, guys, just added there on UVIX. Took a shot there, guys. Now I'm 800 shares here. Let's see if this can really start to move here and start to go higher through that 1450s. 1450 is going to be an important level here. Got another ad at 1420s if I get that ad. Looking for this to go through that 1450s and the pre-market 1455. Start working its way back to 15 here. Let's see if we can do it. TQQQ getting a little bit of a lift. That's not the best look for me, but just keeping a close eye. Here's a UVIX getting that whip down towards the 14. We'll look to see if we start to get back up through that 1450s. Not looking good right now as I start to get this little dip here. Definitely need to focus on it. Down big already. Got to focus here. It needs to hold this 14. Start coming back through that 1450. So I stepped up to the plate probably at a decent time, but at the same time, it was right in between. It didn't break above that 1450s. So that's really what I need to look for now. So we're stuck in between this range right here where you just rejected it on the 4th rejection. So this is actually bearish that it stopped there at 1450s. Really needed to take that out now. Got about 1,000 shares now, guys, at 1440s. Let's see if this can take 1450s and really start to move here. If not, from here on out, if it cuts 14, I got to get out. There's 1440s recovery. Now let's start to see if this can really kind of push here. Didn't get through that 1440s, so that's just concerning there. I could take some off there, looking for that to push above there. There's 42 on the bid. Should have taken some off there. That's one thing that I'm trying to make improvements on. So when I get back to that break-even spot, maybe just sizing down and limiting the kind of the risk here. There's the 1460s, not looking too bad on that first rip. Let's see if we can get there towards the 70s, 80s. There's 75s, 80s there showing up there. I want to take some off there. 400 I have out there for 1480s here. Let me see if I can get it. I pulled it down a little bit here, trying to get it out. There you go. I got some out there, guys. So was able to take another 126 off there. So now I at least got the move towards the 1480s. Not going to let it go back through my entry. Still got 600 shares here. Could take about 300 off on the next move here through the 15. Let's see if we can get the move through the 15, going towards like maybe 1520s. I'll look to put out an order right now. There, it's out right now. We'll look to see what happens on the pullback. Definitely not going to let this come back and stop me out in the loss. If it does come back, I'll break even on the out. So just looking for this to keep running. If not, I'm going to go ahead and cut some off here. There's 1480s again here. trying to get it through that 15, but starting to be a little bit greedy here. So we're going to take some off here. Boom, took some off there. Now just watching it here to see if we run from this 1470s. I'll pull back towards my entry, break even stop, already set there, stop out there. If it comes back and gets me, it comes back. I'm just trying to make some good money here early, make that money and keep trading this UVIX. Let's see what happens there. Now going for that 15 break. Let's see if we can really start to make this move. We could get up there towards the hourly resistance. Hourly resistance is towards like the 1675 and maybe even like up to 18 today. So we got to keep some shares on for that big move potential. We'll find out. Here's 1509s now starting to hold, and the VWAP starts to develop here at 1460s. So that makes me feel a little confident for VWAP pullbacks. It goes right towards 1450s, but I can hold off my entry, which is 1440s. So looking great here, guys, as we start to rise above the 15s, the 1550s, about to be up about another $200 here. And I'll look to start taking some profits as we start to go towards like 1550. So looking for that next move to 1550s and could take some off there. I'll put probably 1540s, not to be too greedy there, but looking to take another 150 off at 1540s. All right, guys, we'll see if we continue to lift there on the UVIX. I will take a look around the market. Let me know what you're looking at right now. One of the things that I'm trying to do more of is focus on my trading, because that's what I've been getting lost on a little bit, guys. I've been trying to focus on everything in the market, and I just want to hone myself in and take some great trades here. Let's keep getting after it. Time to catch some comments in the chat. What are the small ones moving? What are you looking at? Let's keep going, guys. Time to rumble. I don't know if you guys noticed, but definitely was a good time. Why am I shorting NVIDIA? Because I'm here to make money, Martin. And if you want to go long NVIDIA, go long, baby. I won't be mad at you. We're here to make money. Let's go. Thoughts on shop for earnings? That's a tough one, man. Earnings in an environment like we have right now is really tough. Amazing. Red to green move on Serve. Serve could keep going, man. Serve could make a big move today. I definitely think it was one of those that I was watching. Now that's red to green for the 16 breakout. I don't mind it here for a scalp through the 16, but you would have to be quick. I'd have to long right now. And then looking for about 1 minute hold. The 1 minute hold where it gets a little bit tough, right? So that's one thing you got to think about, right? If I went long right there, I'd be long on the 16s, already be down about 10 cents. Looking for the pop above 16s. Let's see if it gets that pop through 16. There's a 98s holding. Not getting the pop right now. So almost to that 1 minute. So then after that, it's about 10 cents that I need to hold. But we'll look to see if this keeps pushing. UVIX already coming back down, guys. I might have to just take the profits and run. We'll see what happens. I put out that 1540s and it went to 28. So I'm going to put it out towards 1560s now to give it a little bit of room to see if it wants to come back there towards the 1540s and 1550s. We'll see what happens, but it is pulling back here. Could go and undercut the 70s. And once it undercuts there, it might just come back for me. So there's the undercut there. There's the pull back to the VWAP. So now it's doing the VWAP bounce attempt, where it could bounce off of this level and come right back to the highs or come and wash me down. I'm in at 1441, got the stop set there. So here's the 1440s, could hit me. It could hit me. We'll see what happens. Definitely not gonna risk on this because there's no need to risk at this point. Stopping my limit sell up there at 1540s. I'm seeing NVIDIA, and NVIDIA, what did it do out the gates? Martin, why? Why, man? Because of this. Because of this. That's how it goes, man. And I got just stopped out there on NVIDIA. It just went right through that 104, right back down to 102. We'll look to see what happens on that one. UVIX down there, bouncing off the 1460s. If it comes back through 15, I could add my share size back in, but I want to keep my average that I have and just try to let this work. Let's go looking elsewhere. Let's go trading, baby. TENX. What a short opportunity, Mitch. Should have been shorting this one. This is one that I was looking at in the pre-market for a short. This is a VWAP fade where stock looks really nice, has done the 4 moves, makes that attempt to the 550s, rejects, looks great now, guys. I would like to see this get back here towards $5 and then I'd short it again. But right now at 1440s, Not a bad short if you were able to nail that TENX. Really nice trade there. All right, Lumen. Let's go take a look at that one. This one's been trying to break through the 4 for a while now. The hourly just bunched up. Still could break through that 4. But the hourly tells me that if it breaks this 360s, you got to be careful. That pullback to 3 could be kind of wicked. Serve. Taking a look out there, guys. Serve now holding in on that 1590s. I've talked about this one. This one has a really nice setup. Hourly could come back to the resistance around 1768. So you still got what? Potential $1.60s up on this. So let's see what happens if we break through this 16 and really start to run in serve. Serve. All right, UVIX trying to break back towards the 15s. We'll look to see if that can continue to run. At this point, now I'm going to start to raise up my stop as we start to break through 15 and start to look for the continued breakdown in the SPY. SPY needs to continue breakdown here for me to get that gold. We'll see what happens. SPY breaking down there. The Q's breaking down. I'm going to look for a continued breakdown out there. That's what we're going to be looking for. If I look at the change from the open, what's in the green? Defensive, utilities, and healthcare in the green, real estate in the green, energy getting a nice little boost. Keep your eyes on that. Gold also starting to get a boost there, guys. So I know GOLD was hurt yesterday, but we're seeing GOLD bounce back today. And why? The uncertainty in the market coming back, guys. Also, you can look for communication services. Why? These are people trying to get dividend players. So they're running away from the fast growth names in technology, and they're moving to what? Dividend plays in the communication services. So one that I'd look at, and not even, I haven't taken a look. AT&T. Let's see it. Up. I'm betting on it. Take me to Vegas, baby. There it is. There it is. Take me to Vegas. Take me to Vegas, baby. There it is. Tee up. You guys see it. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. We make it hard ourselves as traders. Why they're going for AT&T? The dividend. There's the move above the 19s. We'll look to see if it holds the 19s, but not a bad move there right now. AT&T. This is one that I think about scalps with big size because the pullback is what? 10 cents. So I could go after AT&T with big sizing and trying to get that. Let's go over to UVIX, guys. Cashing in today. Let's go, baby. UVIX. Let's get it, baby. Boom. 48 on the offer. Trying to get that 50 there. Wouldn't mind it there. Let's see if I can get it there. It was up there. I'll do 48 on the offer. Come and get me, baby. It was up there to 50s. We almost broke through that 50s. Looking for that break through that 50s. Let's take that cash, baby. I'm putting it up there to 1580s just for a second here, trying to get it into the 1540s. 1540s, 1544s. I'll take that money. Let's go. Let's go. Get it up there. There it is. Cash it. Let's go. The bid is what's affecting it here. Trying to get it back there towards that 1540s, guys. It was just there, guys. I was slow on the bid. Slow on the bid there. It was at 1540s on the bid. So let's see if I can get it here. I'm just looking for that next little drive here in the UVIX. There's a little bit of a pullback. It hit 47 on the offer. Let's go. Let's go. Get it back into the 40s. Come on. Make that nice little push here. Slowing down there. A little frustrating because it was looking great for that break through the 1550s. Let's go. Come on. Get it back up there. Fades off NVIDIA, man. Fades on NVIDIA, man. Oh, should have stayed after it. But hey, still getting after it right here. Taking off my limit right now, guys. I'm going to look for it to see if it can keep pushing here. Up about 237 right now. Would like to see it hold 15s. If not, that starts to break, and then that's where the worry comes in. If this candle turns red, I'm out on the 5 minutes. So you see the 5 minute right here. So it can even pull back to the 1450s, but I shouldn't see this go like below that. Here's like that nice move there. There's the 42s offers. There's the 40s. Come on, no fill there. There we go. There's the fill. 1537s. Take another 144. Got 150 left here, guys. 331 in the bank. Now looking for this to kind of keep going. We'll look to see what happens. Now I can set a stop. Set it and forget it, guys. Set it and forget it. Now I'm looking for top profits. That's a move going back up here through the 16. So the next layer for me, hourly, 1672s, even 16. But I think we go through that 16, go into the next spot, 1670s. So that's what I'm going to be looking for on top profits right now. 1660s, 1640s. I'll take 1640s. 1640s would be another 300. So that's ways away from here. Can go looking and trading elsewhere. I could also take this 140, right? Could take a little bit more, pay myself $400, or maybe potentially close to what? We're looking at what, 460s, 500 on this trade. Not a bad one, guys. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's see what else is out there. Money Mitch versus Triple D. We're on the same team, man. There's no need. There's no need to go against Triple D. And just to say, I mean, the truth is you're going to be on both sides, man. Just like Triple D had it wrong on Tesla. I got it right on the downside. Now he'll probably get it right on the upside, right? That's just the way it is, man. That's trading. All right, 7% dip in HIMS. Why? Well, that weight loss drug hype starting to come down. All right, we'll see what else is out there. And HIMS could be a bad story. It could be like a Peloton story where it was just really good for a while and then starts to get destroyed. We'll see what happens there. All right, there's the move back down through the 15s, and that's the concern there as it comes back and gets you out there. That's why we take the profits along the way. We'll see what happens. Trade is completely set now. Even if I don't get a single cent from this moving forward, I'll still be happy. TENX, let's go looking at that one. Holding the 440s. That could come back to 5. We'll see if that comes back there. LYT down to 237s. Not looking good there. VC was one that I was looking at for a nice little pop off the 3. That did do a nice little pop off the 3. Now trying to hold the 350 pullback. Was up there towards 4. Can it get the move to 4? Not a bad one to watch for. We'll see what happens if VC can make that move. Serve went back to the VWAP. Now starting to come back for that 16 break. Serve is one I'm watching right now. All right, looking for maybe a scalp on Serve to go back through the 16 spot. 5-minute pattern right here, holding the 90 MA, pull back to the 1550s. Very important. Now could see to start to lift there. So looking good here on this push. Now I'm looking for a dip into the 70s or lower 80s to take a shot there. There's the spike there towards the 16 break, right? Literally. So I'm looking for 75s here for my first entry. Got it out there at 75s and 85s. That's what I'm going to do here. So there's the orders out there for the 16 break. It already hit 16, but I'm looking for pullback fills. Let's see if I can get a pullback fill. It looks good there for the 16 breakout. I was a little slow on putting the orders out, so I don't know if I'll be able to get the fills. Still had available to me at that 80 there. There's the UVIC selling out there. 330s on the gain on that. It's back down to 1450s. So just be careful for maybe potentially some up move in the market. And then we'll get that next wave down. We'll see what happens. But looking to try to get Serve on this pullback towards the 1580s. No pullback fill yet. It's up there to 1640s, 1614s now. Could just take off without me. And it's looking like that's exactly what's happening. But hey, not going to be upset about it. Just keep trading, baby. Just keep trading. It was looking great there. Just didn't get the fills. I hope somebody was able to get that nice fill on Serve. It was a nice little 5-minute setup there. Just, of course, maybe a minute or two late on that. But hey, that happens. 1620s now starting to get up there towards the resistance. Talked about this trend line in the pre-market, how we could get towards that trend line. That's the 1650s. Then you look to the left. And what do you got? 1696, 17, the next spot. Once you start going through that trend line. Trend line is right around that 17. And we'll look to see if we start to just push through and get to the next layer. See, man, it doesn't look bad at all for this to keep rising. We'll see what happens on Serve. Serve, baby. TGTX. That one's a known runner. Running before. TGTX. Definitely more of your kind of known runner that could keep running. Just did a pop about a $1 up there towards 20. Look for a pullback here towards, I'm looking for 1940s, 1950s, TGTX. All right, guys, what's up out there? What are you guys taking a look at? What's up? How's the trading action? Missed the short on Dave. Would have been a beauty. Hey, it happened, Shane. Get after another one. I know you'll get it, baby. All right, looking around to see what trades are out there. Look at NVIDIA, man. This thing is just fading. Could do another push up and then eventually the big takedown. That's what I'm looking for. We'll see if we get it. SMX. Security matters. Does it? We'll see what happens here, guys. SMX, a smaller name that is making a move today. We'll see what happens on that one. Can they make the move back here towards 5, towards 6? I don't know about that one, man. I have no idea. Chegg getting destroyed this morning down to 223. So your Coursera probably get hit a little bit on that. We'll look to see if it comes back now. INDO taking a whopping. LYT continuing down there. TENX now to 440s. Man, that would have been a nice short off the 540s. Third pulled back to 16, but didn't get there towards the 1580s, so I wouldn't have got the fill anyways. Serve is continuing, though. It looks pretty decent there on that hold of 16. Could come back here towards the 1580s, 1575s on a quick little pullback. We'll see if it does do that. It's not a bad area to maybe take a shot there. It needs to be kind of an undercut, really quick move to 1580s here, back through the 16s. Be careful out there for the bid to spread out here, about 10 cents, 20 cents. Get some volume, and then take the move higher. We'll find out here in Serve. ZVRA. Another one that I'll keep a watch on. It broke through 8. It's back here at 8. I kind of like this here. We'll see what happens here with ZVRA. There's Serve at 1580s. So if I wanted the shot at 1580s, I got the shot at 1580s. I didn't take it there, but Serve is at that spot. Right back there towards the 1580s, right? 1580s. It drops down below the 16. Now you look to see if you get it back there or the 1650 breakout and the 17 move. I wish you guys the best if you're in Serve. All right, let's go to that ZVRA. There's it back through 8. Looking to try to get a starter here on ZVRA. Starter on, guys. ZVRA long 300 shares. Gonna look for this to come back to 825s. Hourly has a resistance up towards 830s. Nice little throwback look here. As we go up towards the 810s, I'm going to probably add another 200. NVIDIA starting to go higher. TQQQ going higher. Serve back to 1610s. ZVRA doing well right now, just holding in off this 8. All right, what's up out there, guys? How we doing? Nando, what up out there, man? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And that name, of course, man. It's Nando. Let's go. Rum. What's up out there, guys? How we doing, traders? It's not a bad day for me getting it started today, up 329 and willing to take some more shots here. ZVRA, one of the ones that I'm watching right now to maybe take a little bit more of a shot here. Here's the move towards the 8. There's the undercut. I'm taking a shot here, guys. I'm long there off the 8s. Let's see if this can really take off here, go towards the next layer. Definitely don't want it to see it break back towards the 790s. Could go back to like 786 here. But just keeping that in mind, I just took a little bit of an ad there. Now I'm at 500 shares, 799. Looking for the break of 8 here. See if we can make a little bit of a run here in ZVRA. There's 804 on the offer. Let's see if we can get this to run, really start going towards the 820s, 830s, and then starting to break through the resistance. We'll look to see if it gets through that. If I measured the flag pattern tells me $1.08 from the breakout. So $1.08 from, let's say, 780s. Not bad. 880s on the top end for profit reward. We'll see what happens out there. Can this one get moving towards the 825 and 830? Going to the 1 to just tighten down here, and you can see how you can have this upline trend line. It's been holding in, trying to hold the pullbacks to the 9. Got some volume here, got some volume here. Could pull back to the 795s. I'm really looking for it to take that 804, and the next layer would be this support from earlier, 807. So take out 807 on the up end, then you got that move potentially to really start to push. Serve got up there towards 1627. So that even that pullback to the 80s would have been a nice 20-40 cent winner already. Let's go. Are the twins on trade the pool yet? Yeah, they're on it. What do you think I do after this stream, right? I sit them on my lap and I say, baby, hit here. Baby, hit here. Let's get after it, guys. Let's have a good time. You guys out there, over 112 of you guys watching right now, so smash the like. And you guys that are tuning in on X, on Twitter, hey, you guys always know, if you guys want to come to the chat room's really at YouTube, so come over to it. If not, you can also click on the link right there on X, and you can drop comments. Let me know if there's a stock you guys want me to take a look at. I know there's a lot of you guys tuning in right now. Hit that like. Let's keep moving, baby. Let's go. All right, 796 here for ZVRA. Not seeing that move happen that I was looking for. So at this point, just got to be ready to cut it if I need to. There's a cut down there towards the 88. Hands on the trigger to get out. About 3 cents on the depth here. So I'm about to put out an order there. I just saw some stops get triggered around the 84, 83. So I'm going to set a stop here at 780s. I don't have it set just yet. Once I see like 85s, 84 show up, I'll drop the stop. But I don't want to drop it too early, because if I drop it, they know. All right, 790 showing up. I see NVIDIA starting to come back down. So that's not a bad outlook for the UVIX to go back in it. So I'll be watching that a little later today. Back to the 790s here, looking to see if we recover back to 795s. If not, got to get out. Serve starting to go down. Back to 16. All right, holding here at the 792s. I'm looking for a quick recovery to the 8. It's taking a little while here. So now we're at 790s. I'm dropping my stop, $82. Have it at 83. So 1 cent under that just recent undercut. So giving it the chance to go cut through 8, but also if it comes back to the 83s, it's probably going to get me out there at the 83s. Starting to see some downside action coming in here. Gave it one more penny to the 82s as it comes to the 85. It's trying to get me, target me on the stop there. I can either just try to push it a little bit more, but there's also the other option, just size down to like, let's say 100. Then it doesn't matter if it hits 80 at all. These are things that I'm thinking about trying to make improvements, right? So let's go back to the UVIX, because I also want to keep a watch on the UVIX, because 13 was that undercut and rally, right? We went to 13.11 just recently. So that's exactly what I was looking for early in the pre-market action. I took an early trade on UVIX. I need to watch if we can hit 13 again and then just start to push back. That's what I'm going to be watching for. And then that means one more drive and drop in names like NVIDIA. So one more of that attempt move through the high, maybe a trend line break, right? Let's say a move towards like 104.50s, 104.70s, and then the takedown coming back in. We'll see what happens here, guys. Just drawing it how I see it. Let's see what happens now. Here comes that attempt cut out there in ZVRA. I've extended it to the 81s, but I feel like I'm going to get hit there. You can see it right now off the 84s and 87s, but 81 gets me out. I just put it down 1 penny. 1 penny, 1 penny. Giving myself a little room, but the market makers can just take that and get me out. There it is. $94 out. And it could come back through 8. Definitely come back through 8. Maybe I should have stuck to the 300 sizing, right? That at 8 when I was looking to see the pop. Should have been at 8.10. Just looking back and trying to be fully transparent and how I can make improvements. Let's go. Q's top at resistance. SPY is strong. Okay, M top on the Qs. I see that. We'll see what happens here, guys. The Qs trying to make that move to the 440s. That's going to help the TQQQ. We'll look to see if it keeps riding up. UVIX is probably going to be down on that move, right? Coming back through the 13. Let's see if it goes back through that 13 and then starts to work higher. Still up 200. Going to use that. Let's make some money, baby. Let's go. Lumen up there past 4. So this one actually doing well, but it's such a slow move. Doesn't make me feel excited about it. We'll see what happens there. BC holding that 350. We'll look to see if that gets there to 4 today. It's definitely a nice little slower move. Starting to fade off of that 350 though. Serve slowing up off of that also. IWM up there at 203.60s. Looking around at the sectors, right? Because that's also important here, guys. Real estate leading, communication, basic materials. So what's leading there? Silver is leading. Gold is up also, but silver, nice little move there. AG, of course, is one way to maybe play that, to see this get back there through 5. We'll see what happens in silver. Is silver an area that could get a lift today? We'll see. I'd like to see that attempt back towards 460s first, and then later in the day, I can take a shot on that. NVIDIA is still chomping around. We're in that chop zone now, guys. So I got to give it a chance to do these kind of moves to really kind of do that fake out, right? So we're still kind of waiting now. Just on the wait. UVIX coming through that 13 now, guys. So I could start to try to dip by this, and I might. But if I do it, it's very small and then getting bigger as things start to work, right? So UVIX could go at it like at 50 shares here. Let's see if I can get one more dip or where that level is. Okay, the ultimate dip is 1095. That's like the the previous resistance. It just cut through that 1370s. Trying to see 50% retracement areas. We're starting to break that 13, and it goes down there towards 1148. So maybe 12 being that bottoming action. Doesn't look too bad as we start to bounce a little bit there at 1285s. Still looking for that expansion to the Bollinger Band. That Bollinger Band bottom is around the 1250s. That can be the first entry, or 1290s right here. So it can determine which one I want to do. But I'm going to do it. And if I do it, it's at 50 shares early and then adding to it. So, right. So even if I get wiped out, I lose like maybe $100. But let's see if I can get one more down move here in the UVIX. And then I'm going to start to try to get the first starter there. Serve back to 1630s or 1613. So that popped off for that. There's Serve starting to make the move there, guys. I'm going to switch over to my other charts here so you guys can keep watch on multiple charts. But look at that Serve bounce. Not doing too bad there. All right, guys, like always, smash the like. We got a lot more for you guys right here. It's Trade the Pool, baby. Let me know what's your top trade of the day. My top trade so far, UVIX, of course, on what? On the playbook this morning, right? And we'll take a look at another one that was on the playbook. What happened to KVU during the market? Now I'll take a look to see if that one has had a nice little pullback. And boy, oh boy, am I going to be... Look at this, guys. I can't be upset, though. I can't be upset if the stocks that I'm picking are making moves like that, right? I mean, can't be upset. You can try to be upset, but the truth is you got to be happy, man, because that's a hell of a call right there on KVU today. Look at that move. Who else do you know was talking about KVU today? I don't think anybody else, man. I don't think anybody else. So Martine, take that one to Triple D. Let them know about KVU, because that one, my friend, was a big plus. Big plus. All right, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. AMD looks weak under 132. AMD is weak right now. That's why I don't like Intel. Because if AMD is going to be weak, Intel could keep going lower, man. Intel could be in the teens, man. Could be in the teens. We'll see what happens. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Let's go. And what I always find funny is that Martine hangs out here. If he doesn't like me too much, why does he hang out here? You guys know it. That boy's trying to copy those trades. I wouldn't recommend that, but hey, it's up to you, Martine. All right, guys, we'll see what else is out there, guys. We got a lot more for you guys here. UVIX. Let's take a look there. There's a cut down into the 1240s here, so I'm willing to take the shot here on the starter. Ooh, 1220s here. I'm getting a nice little expansion. I'm going to try to get this, guys. All right, starter on there. Long 1215s. This is the first start. Looking to see if we get another kind of cut down. 1146. Let's see if we get a cut down through the 12. There's that drive. There's a nice drive in the overall market. Might get that 12 cut down here. Order out 1180s. All right, let's keep going. Let's go, man. Always, always, baby. Always. Canceling AMD. What do you think about AMD? Let's go. All right, let me get my other chart up here. There we go. All right, guys, let's keep it going. Here's the multi-chart, guys. If you guys have a stock you guys want me to add on here, let me know, guys. Got a lot more for you guys. NVIDIA up there to the 104.60s. UVix might give me another dip down here through this 1180s. I got it down there towards the 1160s now. Just trying to start the position down here, guys. Because I'm going to look for a quick sweep of the market. All right, there you go. Back down towards the 12 here. Looking for that one more drive here on that pullback. I'm going to look to try to get some fill down there towards the 1160s and even further down. So trying to be very small and approach this the right way. Going to get after it. Tim, I see you there in the back. I'm going to bring you on in just a second. Trying to nail this out here and get after this trade, but not a bad one there. 12s. Starting to bounce a little bit, so I'm going to take a little bit there. I just added 25 shares. Still need to add more on the pullback at the 1160s to 1150 range, but starting to see that bottom there. And now I need to start to see the other stocks out there really start to break down. So Apple, break down. NVIDIA, break down. That's what I'm going to look for. You see Apple, that 205 twist down? That actually looks pretty decent for me. And I could also hedge. If I wanted to, I could maybe go long one of these names just in case it just rips off and then UVix stops me out. These are some ways to go about it, right? Let's go ahead. Let's bring on my man, Tim, see if he's ready to rock and roll. We'll see how that mic's doing today. You know, sometimes we get a little gremlins. Don't pour the water on the gremlins today, guys. Let's see what we got here. Tim, what's up? Uh-oh. We'll find out here, guys. Just give us a second here. You know how StreamYard is sometimes. Tim's trying to figure it out here. No worries, guys. Let's keep it going. All right, guys. Let's see what else is out there, guys. Ready to go ahead and nail this out. Ready to get after it here, guys. There's that first move for NVIDIA down back towards the 104s. So that actually looks good there for NVIDIA. We'll see what happens on that. That's a nice cut down here. I'm going to take a swing trade on NVIDIA to the downside here. All right, let's see if I can get this here. All right, there you guys have it. Just took a swing trade short on NVIDIA. Going to hold towards about 105 risks. That's the 105.13. But looking to see if this could really just cut down through that, and I'll hold this overnight. Switching back here. Day trade action. Let's go. UVix at the 1180s here now. One more expansion move. Gonna look for it and then look for the takedown. UVix is definitely another area that I could look at is short Apple. So short Apple off the 205. So maybe a little pop through that 205 and then I get short on the next move. I don't mind it. I'm just trying to stick to one trade there though, but Apple still looks great. That's this move down here. You can see how it's been rejecting this 205. I'll look for that down move through that. There's the UVix going for it. Just got that fill there at the 1160s. Now I have an average at 1192. Don't want to get too crazy. Just want to keep it small here. Next expansion move down is 1135s, right? Then we really start moving back here towards this resistance here of 1095. That could be where you came from, right? And so that's that retracement right there. We'll look to see if it bounces off the golden mean. Right here is the golden mean, which is 1140s. I'm going to go ahead and take another like 25 here on the 40. It already bounced there though. Yeah, already bounced. I'll do 38 on that last ad, but I don't think I'll get that ad down there. Now look how it's coming back, right? So now I'm going to look for that quick sweep down on certain stocks. I could also look at the SQQQ and do that, right? So you can see Apple here. You can see what I'm looking at. Apple would be this kind of fade off of this level. You see the UVix, right? You guys see the position that I'm in, the limit right here. And then this Apple trade just looks interesting for me, for that rejection of the prior support pre-market, maybe getting up there to 205 30s and then rejection. So I'm looking for that last little run to 205 and then a fade on Apple. Doesn't look bad at all. UVIX already back here towards my entry, so that's actually a good level. All right, now it's coming back here towards that 12. So now I can look for dips below 12 to add. Looking for dips below 12 to add now. Going to go to the 1, but I should stick on the 5, right? The 5 is what's been helping me on the UVIX right now, but I'm looking to see if I get a pullback, let's say, towards 1175 here and 1150s. $11.75s. I'm going to put out a buy there, 1175 for pullback fill. And it's only at 50 shares at a time. So I'm going slow. And then eventually, once I start to see like a big green candle, I want to get big. Same thing I did last time. What's up out there, Tim? How we doing? There's Apple. Gonna go for that push to 205.50s. I don't mind taking the shot on that one. What's up out there, team? How we doing? Scotty. I don't know, man. Tim, do you hear yourself on the stream? Is anybody else here, Tim? How about that one? That's a good question to ask the chat. Is anybody else here, Tim, here? Or is it just me? Find out. There's only one way, man. I gotta know from someone. No, we don't. All right, so it isn't me. I ain't going crazy, at least. Only Tim can hear himself. I cannot lip read. You can't? You don't watch artist live performance? That lip sync life. All right, there you go, guys. We're back above the 12s here. Gonna pull back that 1175 ad because it's just like hanging out above 12s now. I'm seeing that push there. I'm looking for that one more push in Apple. And then when that starts to turn, when Apple starts to turn, is really when I want to step up to the plate. There's a dip. The dippy dip. Who's going to buy the dip? TENX, man. That was a good short today. You guys were able to nail that TENX. Not a bad one. Oh, the chat's enjoying it. They're saying, well, Tim said YOLO the market, right? Let me see here. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe it's not. It shouldn't be this automatically adjust the mic volume. I don't know what's going on. Why we're getting a cutout of Tim, but. All right, guys, let's keep going. We'll see what else is out there. I'm still trying to make this trade there. There's Apple. There it is. There it is. Now I like it, guys. There's that push there in the 205s. What do we get to? 205.40s. 205.40s there in Apple. Want to start seeing this start to come down now. Reject that 205.50s breakout and then start to break down. There's that start to reject now. We'll look for the UVIX to start to take off now. So That's what I want to go focus on, UVIX. I could focus on Apple, maybe take 2 trades. Maybe that's the better move here. I'm going to look back at this and maybe like take an assessment, right? Because the truth is there's moments like this in your trading where you can take assessments, right? This was the 2 options that I had at this moment. What could I have done? What actually happened? Let's take a look at that. Then we'll review it at the end of the trading day. All right, let's keep going, guys. We'll see, guys. We're trying to get the mic to work there. I don't know why he's gotten it working before, but it seems like they're trying to pull the rug on Tim and I together. But we'll see. We'll get it working, guys. All right, let's keep going. Let me see if I can just edit here the mic settings. Somehow it fixes something. I don't know. Tim, you there?
Hey.
I just fixed it.
It works?
Yeah, I had to edit your mic settings back to automatically mic adjustment and reducing the background. And out of nowhere, you just popped up.
That's weird. Let me see.
So at least we got it now because I hear you loud and clear, my friend. Loud and clear. I got it.
All right. And now let me, let's see something here. Just out of curiosity. Well, I'm glad we sorted it anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to have you on, my friend. Let's get after it. How you doing in the trading game right now?
Decent. I just want to remove variables. So can you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Still hearing you, man.
Even
I think
now still can hear me.
Got you. Perfecto.
Okay.
The chat is ready. Uh-oh. No. Can no longer hear you. I lost you. Whatever that last click you did.
Okay.
There you go. You're back.
Okay. I don't know. They automatically adjust volume. I tried turning it up even to like 200%. And I don't know. I was getting paranoid there, man. But yeah.
You and I both.
It was so weird though, because
both.
the StreamYard little test thing, it showed even the input coming up on my mic. So right, yeah, guys. I mean,
Let's see what happens now. What are you seeing now here, Tim? What are you seeing at least? Everybody knows what I'm seeing at least.
Kind of a mix, right? I mean, I was looking at some of the pharma stuff. There's a couple interesting things there. The International, I think, Pain Treatment Conference is on Thursday. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking to see if there's names in that. A couple interesting things on the Biopharm watch list, although I'll have to refresh my memory after just wrestling with audio. And let's see what else. Yeah, it just kind of feels it feels like things really want to push. I was actually in the pre-market from early, and it just seemed like things really wanted to push, but just getting kind of weighed down. And then the initial movement I was seeing off of this, just comparing some of the retailers and different things, it just kind of feels like a recessionary type trade, but I don't know. It seemed at first like it might have been the carry trade got just unwound entirely yesterday, the way everything was pushing. So I don't know.
Yeah, man, that one's just a reach, Tim, man. I'll tell you right now, man, as someone that's worked for media, right? I worked for media, right? Like literally connected to them. I can tell you right now how the writer's desk goes in all media. It's, oh crap, something's happening. Find a reason now.
Yep.
Find a reason. And so they just find a reason. The truth is, what's been happening, right, is the AI hype trade, that word AI, where it just gave you like a 20-30% boost, is no longer there. And then today, NVIDIA mentioning that their AI chips are having struggles. That's another little secret tip out there. AI chips are going to be delayed.
Well, that was yeah, the Blackwell thing, right? That was as I understood it, that was like last week even. They were reaching out to their customers, right? Letting them know they were having issues.
Yeah, and that's going to continue to happen.
I feel like some of this. Yep.
I think this is the AI trade unwinding, right? And then this is not the yen trade. This is AI trade ending. And so at this point, now you start to really kind of consider which stocks make money from AI and which stocks were just using it as like the hype to get them further up, right? we'll see what happens. That's just the way I feel. Of course, like always, the media is always going to find a reason. It'll find a reason every single day. Just turn on CNBC and look at the first line. That will be the made up headline. Now the question is, do you feel that that headline actually matches the price action? That's where traders really pay attention to the noise out there and try to decipher between it, right? Like one trade that I was thinking about this morning that did really well is that KVU. So I'm looking at recessionary plays, right? What moves in recessionary? It's utilities, it's defensive consumer products, right? The ones that you have to buy, like your toothpaste. Well, I mean, we're going recession. You're still buying toothpaste. At least I hope so. But things like that, right? And so I'm thinking of those types of trades, and also healthcare falls into this. And that's where I'd kick it to you, Tim, to see maybe what you think in healthcare, because I know you keep up a lot more with healthcare than I do. So I kick it to you. What do you think? Can healthcare stay strong? And just to mention, as you guys can see on my bottom right here, that chart, serve. Yeah, it's serving somebody up a nice green plate today. That's popping now towards 1670s. That's doing pretty well there. What are you seeing out there, Tim?
So I'm just waiting actually for my charts to reload here, because I was having some other kind of lag issue going on. But I was noticing, I was just looking at because I have Target, Walmart, and Dollar Tree just as kind of my sort of bellwethers on the retailers. And I noticed Dollar Tree and Walmart really pushing hard. Walmart seems to have continued strength. And Target seeming to lag a little bit there. So
starting to see some decline coming back in the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little top wicks on the indices maybe. Although the Dow Industrial Index, interestingly enough, looks like it's still pushing relative to the others. But I still see some bull energy there. All
right, guys. Now I'm at 250. No, I mean it's definitely a battle type of trade, right? I think what the thing is now that it's either you think that they're just going to climb the indexes all the way back, and that was just a scare, just a quick scare, and it's gone, or today the leak happens. That's how it was in the pandemic, right? I mean, you would get those like overnight like moves down, and then the market would open, and it would just be this constant bid, right? Like just bid up.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, and that's how I remember
I got burned trying to short things because it should be. Yeah, I'm like, it's overextended. It should go down. Nope.
Yeah,
I learned a valuable lesson about should at that time.
Yeah, no, should, could have, would have, and the truth is that when we think about trading as logical, that's where we get a lot of times the worst kind of cut downs, right? I mean, but logically it should do this. Well, logically and how things work are a whole different thing.
Yeah, and we were just talking on the Discord too about chasing things, even if it's technical issues or if it's just not getting a read on the market or seeing what's going on. Like you can hurt yourself pretty bad trying to chase those. So I'd watch out for those. But Disney also, of course, you probably mentioned this already, but Disney having earnings tomorrow morning. So they popped 2 points right there.
Disney.
Right off the bat.
I'll tell you what, Tim, I'm probably going to have to take a little trip down to Disney and give them some money. So that might turn things around in the next quarter. Yeah, I might have to come over there and give Disney some money so they can turn that quarter around. I think the big thing with Disney, too, that you're going to get mentions of is probably like the NBA, right, and the ESPN. That's a good, big deal for them, right? So that's going to be talked about on this report. I guarantee it, man. So to look out for that. That's going to be more talks with ESPN, right? Of course, they'll kind of bring that up with ESPN Plus and things like that as their way of trying to get the subscribers to ESPN Plus. But now looking for the decline to come in here. UVIX starting to make the move, guys. I'm gonna keep just trying to slowly add to this game. 223 start to show up here. I'm looking to see if Apple's going to be the move for me that really tells me, okay, here it comes, guys. Here it comes. So looking at this right now, look at this trade here. I could trade this. I'm telling you guys, this looks like a nice trade to me, but I'm just trying to stick on the UVIX right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like I told myself, Mitch, you were going to stick to that. Don't go off of that, right? Because then you look back and then you get upset. But Apple could be a good indicator if I start to see quick moves down, what I call elevator moves, right? It's stair stepping back. We want to see elevator moves down where it's big bars washing out traders on stop triggers, right? We'll see what happens here. There's the UVIX now to 1230, so looking good. I got 300 at 1202, up 100 already. Just trying to keep it simple, right? Waiting and waiting. I could add here and then I ruin my average and we play this game again, right? So let's be smart. I'm trying to wait right now. I'm trying to look at that to see if I can really get the pop. The pop is back through 13 and then I could look for pullbacks below 13. There's Apple. There's the first kind of wick and you're starting to get rejections. Now I want to see the next support get broken, which is around this 204.40s. Big moves down towards, let's say, 204s. Let's see if we get that. If we can, that's when the UVIX really starts to take off. And I look at this as a leader, right? Leaders to laggards a lot of the time. So that's what I'm watching for. All right, we'll see what else is out there. I'm going to throw up Tim. Tim, I'll throw you up so that we can talk a little bit more about maybe some of the action that you're looking at. But I'll tell you guys what I see in Apple there. I'm going to continue watching this UVIX, trying to kill this trade today, trying to make a nice little maybe 600, 700 on this trade today. Let's see what happens. All right. What you got going on, Tim? Let us know.
Yeah, so right now I've got TSM still up there. I did have an arm long, so I made a little bit there. These losses here were in the pre-market there. I called it, but just a little early and a little too big. So still working on that. Sometimes
you and I both, brother.
But yeah, BHC is kind of crawling its way back up. I will note that.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and just to talk about that thing that we're trying to improve on, Tim, I'd like to ask you because I've been thinking about it too. Do you feel like you make that mistake when you just go in too quick of orders? Like let's say maybe 2 or 3 orders, or maybe even just 1 order. Do you feel like that's when the mistake happens mostly? It's to me that's my thing. All of a sudden I look at one and I'm like, oh, this looks prime right now. So because of that, I go and I jump in big right at that moment because I feel in my mind it's prime now, and so I jump big, and that's usually when I get that quick down move, and I'm like, oh, now I'm just caught holding the bag, right? And you can either cut it out right there, or you usually wait another second. And then you're really caught in the bag, right? And so that's what I'd like to kick to you, Tim. Do you feel like that happens when you go on that 1 order, or is it that you're still taking multiple orders, but just maybe doing it too big?
Well, it's in the pre-market, so big is relative. I think that's a little bit of the challenge. I usually have it set up to where I can, I can kind of see what the risk is, but. Just some of this, to be honest, some of the size of these moves, just looking at a chart, some of it's just checking beforehand because the chart will, the wicks are much larger, but it looks like a similar chart to what you usually see. It's just much larger scale. So if you don't look closely, you can get hurt there. But I would say that's a big thing. Not usually if it fails right away, it'll either hit my stop or I'll say, oh, you know what, this isn't working out and reassess. For me, the usual part that's tricky is where you get that climb. Your P&L starts climbing, starts falling off, and then maybe you even have some drawdown, and then it starts reclaiming. Maybe even goes more, and then it's like, oh, okay, this is safe now. Even if it fluctuates, it's safe. And then you kind of take your vigilance off of it. And so, earlier in the pre-market, just on the indices, I was looking at it and, seeing it lose what I thought was it losing a channel. And it's kind of like, oh, even I might want to hedge here and this kind of thing. And I didn't. And it did exactly what I thought. I just was like not, to be honest, just not trusting my own analysis. So.
Yeah, it happens. So the skill that we're all working on, the decision making. That's all at the end of the day it runs down to, guys. It's just decision making skills that we're trying to make improvements on.
I do think we're still pushing though. I mean, it'll be interesting. It's after this show ends, but we'll be watching it in the Discord as well. But we get that London close 11:30. It'll be interesting to see if that. How much of this is covering or how much of this is bidding up into there. So see if this reverses toward 1130, or if at 1130 we see buying pressure off, or see what we see.
I could add here at 1180s for the UVIX, but I'm going to stay off of it for right now, guys, because you could get another support test, which is that 1140s. Don't want to get too big early and then get wiped, right? So right now, I could literally leave it down towards below 11. So, and I wouldn't even be too upset, right? I'd still be like just slightly red in the day. So what I'm looking for is to continue watching the stocks that need to break, which are the top names, NVIDIA, Apple. Those are strong right now, still staying on the top end of the range. So if that stays at the top end of the range, you can still just stay a step higher. If that starts to elevator down, that's where I start to go ahead and go higher. And Apple went to that 204.40s, bounced right off of that, coming right back to the resistance. So now you're playing a range between that, right? So now in Apple, you're between a range between kind of 205.70s and the 204.50s. So just playing in between that, we'll see which range breaks, and that will give me some insight there, right? We'll see what happens there. Boogie Woogie, baby, in the house. We need some Boogie Woogie music, man.
Now, Amgen has earnings tonight too. I don't really follow them. Amgen, and then Acadia, and that was one I remember trading back in the day.
Acadia.
I don't know.
I still remember that one.
Their pipeline, their pipeline was like they had I think it was Alzheimer's drug, but that if I remember, it got a CRL, and then their everybody quit. So it'll be interesting to see. Let me look those guys up actually before I do something purely on chart, but. Both it and Amgen, which has earnings tonight as well, seem like they have some good energy there.
Well, at least, guys, maybe it was best that I didn't take the trade, and maybe that's what it was, why I kept going. But Serve, not a bad outlook today, man. Not a bad outlook. I don't know if you've seen that one today, Tim, but we looked at that one in the pre-market for a run, and it sounded like it was a big run there to 17, 18s. I mean, you're at 1740s right now. It sounded like almost like maybe this is too big of an outlook. But look at that run there, guys. Look at Serve holding that VWAP, holding the pullbacks. That 1580s look that I was looking at, which was right here on this pullback. Oh, that would have been beautiful. I would have just left it there. Look at that takeoff on Serve. I hope that's making somebody a big money. And the big part with this was the hourly chart. So if you look at the hourly chart, you'll see how this has been recovering. And that's what I was like, man, this looks like it wants to come back to this resistance. And look where it's heading right now. So right into that area. Then it leaves room for that to hit 18 and keep going. Because this thing was up there to 23. So there's no reason why it has to stop there. But I was looking for a move back into that as being kind of the third, fourth resistance test into this 18. And you're right off of that. It's 1745 right now. We'll look to see what happens on that one. But man, what a move there in Serve. Not a bad one. We were looking at it this morning. Really nice trade there.
I'm looking at Acadia too. So their pipeline. So they've got Prader-Willi syndrome, which I'm trying to remember, and they've got they do have something for Alzheimer's disease psychosis. So I thought that one says they've got a phase 2 trial in progress. So we'll see, and then a couple pain things. Which let me refresh my memory what this conference is today. But yeah, so they've got some stuff in the pipeline. It's not like some others that I've seen where their primary fails and then they've just got some like random generics or things like that no one really cares about to the same extent. Let me see.
Really watching this Apple to see what happens here on this kind of like move here towards the opening price, right? Are we rejecting opening price or are we going above opening price? A lot of traders pay attention to that. So opening on Apple, 205.30s. We've gotten above it, gotten below it. We're kind of chomping around there. Lumen. Yaz, put it up. If Yaz puts it up, I got to put it up. That's the rule. Lumen. Let's see. Let's see it. You like Lumen to the upside or downside?
some of these larger and some of these smaller when you have your overview chart. What's the reason for that?
Which one? Which one? So,
Oh, just I noticed on your overview you had like three or four. You have 6 charts, and then some of them you had the candles bigger and smaller. So.
oh, that's just a zoom in. That's just
Okay.
a zoom in. I think that's I did on some
Like
of these.
so what you do is you just maximize it for your when you're looking at one in particular, and so you might make it bigger candles when you zoom in.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. So the big thing there is just I like to put something that has multiple charts because I notice like, man, I'm focusing on one stock and no one cares about that one stock. They want to see the other ones. So I try to put up some of these, and like always, you guys can call the shots. If you guys want a stock on one of these, I'll throw it up there. And then it just makes it easy because I just hit the maximize and then boom, I'm like right into that chart, right? So, and then like, let's say like UVIX that I'm trading, right? I can show all my action really quickly here by just maximizing the chart that I'm trading. That way I'm not stuck on one chart or even have to change in between charts, Tim. So I don't even have to type. I could just look at some of these and keep it going. Of course, I change between, different stuff, guys. You got to have different. If you're not using services out there or using things to help you, I mean, I don't know what you're doing, but I use plenty of different services. I use probably about 3 or 4. Of course, you got to have your platform where you're trading, but you got to have tools, man.
Yeah.
I would say you got to pay to play to this game, man. If not, that's the truth, man. It's not a free game, right, Tim?
No, it's I've got some different things, and the data, and then I pay for that newsletter. I got a package deal. I actually have the Benzinga Pro Squawk.
There you
I don't
go.
have it on right now, but I'll usually have that on and different things.
All those types of things can really help you.
Yeah.
They can really, man. And I think what you got to do is just find what works best for you. Trade ideas mentioned in the chat, right? I mean, you can't get faster scanners than trade ideas. Let's just be honest, right? Like that's the top of the top, the cream of the crop, as they say. But definitely, I mean, trade ideas has existed since I first started trading, right? So
that's cool.
Vector Vest works well. All right, Wisdom, good mention. And you guys out there, if you guys know maybe a tool that maybe we're not using, maybe that we can check out, keep them throwing up in the chat. Tell Tim about it in the Discord. Really, we're here to help you guys.
Yeah, we've got a resources channel.
tool.
We love to link to those. So
yeah, let us know, guys.
Some of these, of course, are package deals where Trade the Pool has it. You sign up for an eval, you get a chance to try it out for a month. So those are good deals. But we like to just link to anything that people know about and like and find useful. So
Lumen starting to climb there now, 435s. What you see on that one, Jazz? What do you think? Looking for correction on the daily? We'll see what happens. It's starting to make a move to 435. We'll see if that one keeps climbing or not. Looking around to see some other ones to see if they make the move. VC still hanging out there off of that 450 or the 350s. We'll look to see if that makes a move. But that made a couple of fake outs. Could start to break down back to 3 on VC. See how that one turns out. That's this top left one. You can see how it, like the 90 MA was trying to hold, and now it broke. Lumen here on the bottom left, starting to make that push there to 440s. NVIDIA still holding pretty well there. Serve to 770, almost at 18 already. Apple still holding in. Now it's coming up towards the top end of that range now. So I'm getting to that point where the trade is going to be a let go if it continues the way it is. Still watching the UVIX because at the end of the day, the UVIX still has the pattern there that could reverse out. So you see the 15-minute, there's a triple bottom right around this. So I'm going to look to see if we get a slight undercut here towards maybe 11.15s, but shouldn't break 11 here. We'll see what happens on the UVIX. Glad I'm still smaller and not like, let's say, 1,000 shares, because this is how you get wrecked really quickly on the UVIX. Yep. If I was long 1,000 shares there, I'd be already wrecked. So 300, and what did I do? I went at it like 25 shares, 50 shares, have worked the position, and I think that's the important part there that's saving me right now in the trade.
For sure.
We'll look to see if we see some downside action. It's 10:45. That's another thing to note. We're really close to starting to wrap up here. And this is usually when the retail traders leave. We'll see if they just take the market now. A lot of retail traders head out.
The boss keeps asking them why they keep screwing around with their computer and what those charts are anyway, right?
Yeah, man. This is when a lot of the kind of the heavy day traders, they'll probably go and take a lunch between like 10:30, 11:30, come back to the desk noon kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guess the full-time day traders versus the casual day traders. But yeah, the full-time ones, you're usually going to be up in the pre-market, looking everything over. So it's time to take a little break. But
yeah, they take a little mental break, right? You've been staring at candles for so long. Sometimes that's not the best way, right? Just staring at candles, staring at candles, staring at candles. Your eyes get tired. You don't notice that, but your eyes literally get tired, right? So that's why some traders use 15 minutes or deeper time frame charts. It's not because they can't go into shorter time frames. They just don't want to be that like intensely focused and just driven and then all of a sudden be burnt out by the time they want to actually execute, right? Another thing to think about.
That is
Spies is driving.
What I try to do is I found the Pomodoro method. You do like 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. I found that useful for doing other kinds of work, and I've actually tried doing that for trading as well. So that's something I'm trying to do where I I say, okay, I'll trade for 25 minutes, and then everything I'll either put stop losses on, or I'll trim, or I'll just cut it, and then go away, touch grass, look at something far away, take that break, and then come back, rather than just, it's so easy to hold something and just like white knuckle it throughout the day, throughout lunch, throughout all the way into the close.
Yeah, no, I like that. That's an interesting approach for sure.
So
how's this TXTG? I was looking at that one. I know that I've seen that one run before. What'd you think about that one? That one's doing pretty well. It did a nice little VWAP hold, man, on the 20s. Let me put that chart up here. I have it on my left-hand side here. TGTX. Interesting chart. Nice little recovery there.
Day trader billionaire. Yes, that is that came from Trader Revolution. We do have a notice on that in the Discord up, where if you take a profit, it used to be only, and in fact I put some videos saying this, it used to only do that if you were adding to your position. And that was something Trade the Pool had asked them to look into, like, can we make that be optional or have it be that it doesn't remove it when adding to your position? Well, now it replaces your stop loss or take profit, regardless of whether you're adding or removing to the position. So I actually have an event scheduled. We're going to talk about, let me double check which is on what day, but we're going to talk about order types and order management tomorrow. We'll do like a little lunch and learn thing, 12:30 on the Discord. And then Thursday, we have exactly dynamic stop workarounds. So we're going to talk about that specifically, and we're also going to talk about other techniques you can use to, to have those partial take profits to maintain your, what you can use as either a fix for that, and also just an alternate mechanism, even if that gets worked out. So.
Love to see it, man. Love to see it. And definitely take a look around, guys. We'll see what else is out there. But BKTX is one that I'd say don't take your eyes off of it, man. This thing has been moving all over. I don't know if you've seen this one, but, man, look at the daily chart on this. This thing rode up from 52 all the way up to 67, pulled back to that 50, coming back today looking pretty strong here on BKTX. And a lot of what I'm seeing is kind of the 9 EMA pullbacks and getting that next move. So not a bad outlook there. We'll see what happens on BKTX. And then that TGTX is another one that I've been seeing move today that's doing pretty well. And I've seen this one run before. Also 9 EMA holding pretty well on this name. You can see 1, 2, 3, and now really trying to take that 21. We'll see what happens on this one. TGTX. This thing was down at 17 yesterday. What a move, man.
Oh, I noticed that reminds me, just because I was looking at Target, as I often am. But also we've got on Friday, we have earnings for AMCX. And I think there might have been one during the week. So I kind of wonder if that's one where you might see some some ticker confusion. Let me see if I. Oh, and today. Oh, this happened this morning. It was Marathon, but it was the gas and oil company. So, I was curious if there was some interplay. I remember back when the first GameStop thing was going on. I remember there was this Australian mining company, which at the time looked good. I haven't checked into it lately, so don't take this either way. But they were mining silver and I think lithium and all kinds of other stuff, but it was called GME Resources. And so it was hard to tell sometimes whether it was moving because of their news or because people thought it was GameStop. And they eventually changed tickers, just make it simpler, I guess. And yeah, what I've got up here, Future Day Trader Billionaire on TSM, I am still in that. And you can see one of the things that I do. I have actually, these are 20 shares a piece. And these are just trailing stops. So I've got a couple here. I had them spaced out in sort of increasing intervals. You can also space them evenly. And so you can do the timing on that based on, when you enter it. So for example, this here, depending how much of a loss I'd be willing to take on Hood here. Now I think, yeah, there we go. So it would already hit 2 of the stops, but then I'd have like $100 of risk left, so you have to be aware of that. But this is one way I could leave this unattended without too much worry. For some of the other ones, I might need to kind of keep more of an eye on it and then decide how I want to manage it, and then I can walk away. But those partial trailing stops can be really handy. I like to enter those on the mobile client, but you can also just go in here, order entry, and just put in your quantity. If you have your PL offset shown in your open positions, then you can just say, okay, I'm up for 432 ticks. So I could, if it was TSM, and then I could say, what is it, 20? So I could go 20. I could go, 150, and then 300, and then 450, or something like that for my trailing stops. Whatever I wanted to do. I've already got these set, but. So you can do that relatively quickly on the desktop as well.
All right, guys, looking around to see what's going to happen in this market, guys. It's 10:52, still lifting, starting to see a small little pullback there around. We'll see if that actually starts to pull back to the VWAPs. That's really the first step, right? VWAP pullbacks. We'll see if we even get those today. Right now, the overall market continuing. It got up there towards 525. Yesterday, we were up there towards 523.58. So getting up closer and past yesterday's high. So watch that action. What happens at this level is important, right? Do we close all the way the gap? The gap could close all the way towards, let's say, 528.60s, right? That's where it was on Friday. So we'll look to see if it goes all the way to that 528, which is that next step, right? Where it closes all that kind of worry. We'll see if it actually closes. Lumen is flying. Not a bad trade there, Yaz. If you were able to get it, were you able to nail that one? Not a bad one at all. All right, Tim, I'll let you do a little recap, maybe start to wrap up. It's 10:53. I'm going to make a little small mention after this, and then we'll start to wrap it up here, guys. Like always, you guys check out those Discord kind of recaps, guys, and even later today, right? Jay Angelo coming in here saying the discount roundtables discussions are awesome and so helpful. Hey, that's what it's all about. I'm sure Tim loves to hear that. That's why he does what he does, puts extra time in every single day. So smash the like, guys. If you guys are not in the Discord, definitely join so today. Don't miss out. Maybe you can't catch today's roundtable. There'll be more, right? So catch it, guys. Definitely smash the like. We'll make sure we throw up that link there for an invite there in the chat. If not, look in the description below. Should be a link there for you guys to go ahead and keep going into Discord.
Awesome. So yeah, all these are kind of going positive. I will say even Target looks like it might be weakening. I do have nothing in trade the pool on that one yet. I do have a put option open on it, but everything else looks like it's pushing. I will say too, some of these biopharm tickers, I haven't dove into them yet, but for example, SGMO, that's up 50% on a deal with Genentech. We've got what was the other one that was up here that I was noticing? 10X had a private placement. They got some financing, and let's see. Yeah, so it seemed like everything with positive news in even these, more early stage biotech or more speculative ones is just really pushing today, and relative to the overall market with more energy. So I think, like you said, there's somewhat of a, I don't know if I'd say a rotation, but certainly a lot of interest in the healthcare sector. So,
all right, looking at one
throughout the rest of the day.
Watching Dominion Energy, that was on the playbook today. And looking at the sectors overall, just wanted to mention that before we get out of here. Real estate leading, communication services really pushing, guys. So that AT&T, not a bad trade there, guys. Remember we were looking at that and it was at like 1905. Thought that would make sense because the truth is that you had like a 10 cent, maybe 20 cent max risk. It's all the way up there to 920s now, got up there at 1920s, 1930s. So it wasn't a bad little scalp. And that tells me what? They're going for what? They're going for those names that are kind of more of your safety trades, right? So they go and they get the dividend player, and that's why they go for AT&T. That's why they go for the Verizon today, right? And that's why you're seeing communications up overall. So I'd keep a watch on that. We'll see what happens if AT&T can continue making that move. Here you guys see that move. Not a bad little push. And you can see it's on the top end of the Bollinger Band. So getting momentum today, right? Pushing to the upside. We'll see what happens with this, if it can continue to push. VZ is another one that can go very similar when this move happens. We'll see what happens in some dividend players and what's going on there. Silver was one way to play also today. Basic materials getting a nice little pop there. Silver continuing to lead. Lumber, wood products also getting a spike today. I can give you guys a name in that. WFG. You won't see most people trade this. West Fraser Timber. Definitely getting a little lift there. We'll see what happens on that. Silver. AG is the way to play that. $5 recovery. We're right off of that $5. We'll look to see if we get that $5 recovery today in silver. Of course, you guys know the UVXY made a great trade earlier. Going to try to use those profits to take a big shot today, guys. You guys see it. Still lost 94 earlier on ZVRA, but really good trade there on that UVXY early. Was able to get some sells, take some profits, then eventually breaking out at 1440s, now coming back into the trade. And you guys can see how many tickets I used for that: 50, 25, 50, 50, 25, 50, 50. So execution fees, I could care less. What matters, going green on the trade, right? At the end of the day, if I go green on the trade, I more than likely will pay all these fees. 75 cents, I'll throw those quarters all day, baby. We'll see what happens if I'm able to make the trade today. But like always, guys, going to keep being fully transparent. Going to show you guys the battle. The top trade outlook in the pre-market wasn't even one that we traded. TENX, the short outlook on that would have been a monster. 540s was looking for that last topping pattern after kind of the Elliott wave theory, or you can use the Dow theory, right? The 5 kind of pushes. This was that last push towards the 540s. It played to a key and just kind of came all the way back there. I would have played it to the 4. I wouldn't have been playing to the 380s. Before made sense because you break that 5, you come back towards the next support. Support comes right back down here. Now you're on the hourly 90 EMA. This is where I'd be a little bit careful for bounces coming back. We'll see what happens on TENX.
Yeah. And their pipe is oversubscribed too. So
nice, good to know.
Not sure quite
right
how that
there
relates to their pipeline, but a lot of investor interest anyway.
No, that's actually great news to know and something definitely to pay attention to. We'll see what happens in this TENX. And it doesn't mean that it can't come back by the end of the day, right? So I'm not saying that it's completely destroyed here. It's just a pullback. Think about it this way. If I'd use the fib retracement, right, from yesterday's close up to that high at like, let's say 50s, now you're starting to undercut the golden mean, which is that 61% retracement. This is where I'd look for either a quick recovery or it completely fails and makes that 100% retracement back down. We'll see what happens on that one. The last look into the SPY. The SPY is starting to slow down a little bit. Doesn't mean it's turned around. 526.50s. We'll see what happens in the SPY, the Qs overall. And if I look at it right now, there's not a single sector that's red from the open. So keep that in mind, right? What will we see by the end of the day? Will it just be this continued bid? That's something that definitely could happen. Is that what you are looking at, Tim? Are you thinking we get this constant bid? The truth is, there's always two sides of the trade. So I always like to ask somebody else. So what do you think, Tim?
I think it depends on if we get another shock. I mean, I think the market wants to push, but I think things are heavy. I think if we get, if we get some other, large player repositioning, or if we get some geopolitical stuff, right? Like if things with Iran kick off. A lot of stuff in the world, so you got to stay. We were talking about the squawks earlier. You got to stay tuned in with what's happening in the world. So
yeah, that's why I can't handle too much of that futures trading, because man, that thing would have me trading on all types of hours at night. We'll see what happens. I'm sure you'd get after that, Tim. I can't do that, man. I'll try to go right back to sleep, but we'll see what happens out there, guys. Be safe out there and keep looking for comments from the Fed. Keep looking for comments on overall, kind of like we said, what will happen there with the oil situation also, because you could see oil spike and all of a sudden now we have this inflationary pressure. Not something we want to see, right? So just be careful out there, guys. We're going to keep battling. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Thursday too, so keep that in mind as well, because that's
everyone will be watching that, right? Of course, especially with Friday's jobs report causing such concern. And really the concern was there prior, right? Let's just be honest. Recession concerns are out there. Now the SAM rule starts being triggered. A lot of people talking about recession. That's why I'm also bringing up the recessionary plays, right? Utilities, the consumer staples, those types of plays. Healthcare could actually get another lift, right? So you got to find areas. And I think that when you learn about these rotations and moves like this, it does teach you diversification, right? Like you can't just have a portfolio all in one sector. And if you do, then you need to rotate it in moments like this. So go hide in safety. And why you're seeing the communication services leading the market today is hiding in safety, players taking profits, putting it into dividend players, because at the very worst, I get some return, right? We'll see what happens out there, guys. All right, guys, keep battling. Go check out Tim on the Discord. He ain't stopping. The party keeps going here on Trade the Pool. You guys know it. Tim, thanks for joining me like always, man. I'll get you back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and it's good to have the mic working.
I was just going to say. So,
yeah, definitely, man. Take care, guys. We'll see what happens in the market, and we'll see what happens in Disney. It'll be a good report. We got to talk about that report. We'll talk about it tomorrow, Tim. How about you come in? We'll talk a little bit about Disney.
We'll see how it goes. I got a pretty full day, but I'll shoot you a note anyway. So for sure.
All right, guys, take care. Have a good one, Tim. Everybody say bye to Tim and keep up with him. Go to the Discord right now. I want to see you guys in the Discord talking about some trading. I'll see you guys over there. Hit the like. You guys know where you're at. It's Trade the Pool. We'll keep it going, team. We'll see what happens. Will the UVIX come back? Only one way to find out. Stick around, team.